Good evening, you beautiful bastards, and welcome to my so-called show. And right now, you are joined by us, the League of the Retro Spider-Man Bastards. I am joined, which consists of the Inside Man right next to me,
Good evening.
Fandad Menace just below me,
Hello.
Critical just underneath Inside Man. Hello, man. Where are you, man? He's here somewhere.
In the bathroom.
And we now have our guest, World War Joe and BlueCollarLoser. Always welcome here. How are you,
Hey,
guys?
buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
So check this out, buddy. So it's called the Glen Silver's blended Scotch whiskey.
Oh, blended
Oh,
Scotch
nice.
whiskey.
Very nice.
You gotta try the single malt, man. You gotta get a single malt one day. Get a nice 12-year-old or 15-year-old.
That's the way.
Beg
Single
pardon?
malt.
Again, I'm
It's
going by
nice stuff, by the way.
I'm going by the price. I mean, this is not bad for $15. So
But
Well,
just
Johnny
send it-
Walker's a blended Scotch.
Yeah,
and
Johnny
that's
Walker's a
yeah.
blend.
Yeah. What's it like though? Anyway, is it a good one? Still.
Black Label is.
Yeah.
I just I got this like Buzz Balls. It says Buzz Balls cocktail, tequila Rita, tequila vodka, and triple sec. Little bastard.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't mix my fucking drinks anymore. It messes me up bad.
I mean, come on. Well, we're talking Jaws, man. Shit.
Yeah.
I might finish off the Japanese single malt tonight because I was in Japan 1 year ago today.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd love to try the
Like
Japanese
Japanese
single
whiskey.
malt. I would.
I had a little drink about an hour
Hour
ago.
ago, and it's gonna right through my head. God. Yeah, that's definitely the ideal scene to watch while having a few. Well,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Multiple.
Don't worry, I'll be drunk by then. I'll be singing with you guys. Oh man,
There's
way
not
to
enough
go,
alcohol
man.
on the planet to get me drunk enough to sing. I know I can't sing, so I don't.
Well, either that or drink some of Quint's homemade brew. Like,
Yeah, probably
he gives
do
it
the job.
That'll do. That'll do it.
Now, Critical, it's funny when we do karaoke on Wednesday. We had this older guy. I swear he was up there. He's the worst singer of all time, but the entire bar loves him because you know what? He has like 4 or 5 drinks. Goes up there, he just fucking goes all out, and it's better with his confidence level. And he's a crappy singer, but just hearing him have a good time, that's the point of karaoke, you know.
Yeah, no, it's just a laugh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, and he just like it's like, you know, I'll show eventually Luke some videos. This one guy, I think his name is Al. It's like Steve. Yeah, the amazing Steve. The amazing Steve sucks, but he has such a great time. The whole bar is cheering for the guy because just the fact that, you know, it does take a certain confidence level to like get drunk and sing in front of 100 people. I mean, yeah, I can sing Backstreet Boys all day because I'm good at it, but like hearing a bad singer with confidence in some ways is better than a good singer. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like
Entertainment value, if nothing else.
It's kind of like Pugs. You didn't have to be the best singer, but you just had to have that fucking energy, Lord, to go to that charisma.
That shit's bitter.
All you needed.
Did he say his go-to is Backstreet Boys?
Insane, 90 degrees. I mean,
What song?
I mean, all of them.
I bet the ladies love it.
The funny part, I don't know how I got this new Bon Jovi trend. I can sing Bon Jovi all of a sudden. Bon Jovi is hard, but like I don't know why I can hit Bon Jovi's notes. It's weird. I couldn't hit them in my 20s, but as I get older, I'm hitting. It's strange, but
Yeah. Say hello to David Wilson. Thanks for joining us, Smilex. And is there anyone I've missed at the moment?
yeah, this shit's bitter.
Well,
as fuck.
toxic, obviously. Come on, I can't miss you up, man. And Tony K once again stalking us, lads. Hope you're doing okay, man. And Samurai Pete, thanks for joining us, you beautiful bastards.
No Nick, is he dead? What's going on?
Yeah, where's
Yeah,
Nick?
come on, we need Nick's to roast those potatoes, man. Come on, man. We need
Anybody got his phone number? Give him a ring.
I think he's in like Romania or something. I don't think they've got phones.
Yeah.
Nick's is never late. In fact, he shows up when he's at the precise time he means to.
But what a movie, man! I mean, some people would say like this is arguably like the very first summer blockbuster film.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely got all that. I mean, there probably was others before it, but it's Jaws that seemed to really define it, though, because
Yeah,
it's just it was done by a very inexperienced director. He was good. He was competent. He showed he was competent with Duel, which is a fucking really underrated film at the moment. And
Well, it was the comparisons to Duel that attracted him to this film.
Yeah, that was Dennis. What, Dennis Weaver?
Yeah, and he already
Yes,
and
he
he
was,
did
yeah,
direct
yeah.
like the first, and he directed the first episode of Columbo as well. So he
Right.
already had a little bit of
He did Sugarland Express as well. Don't forget.
Yeah, that was his
Yeah.
film before this one. He was only 26 when he made this film.
wow.
He was very young then. I mean, yeah, because it was from that pioneer of directors in the 70s, like Martin Scorsese, Brian De Palma, and George Lucas, and
People
Francis.
who knew what the fuck they were doing, basically.
Yeah.
And such a legendary, like as Drinker makes his videos called, we've all seen him called Production Hell, and everybody's old enough to know about, not at the time, but as we got older, the production behind this movie is like that's more legendary than the movie itself.
Yeah.
Yep. There was a lot of happy accidents that made this film the way it was.
100%.
And it led to a lot of great creative choices. Like obviously, you mentioned this before, Critical, like the shark constantly breaking down. So you had to just shoot it from the point of view of the monster himself, and
it means the shark's not seen as much on screen as it would have been, and that is so much more effective.
Yeah,
into making it a horror film. That's the thing. It gives it a horror aspect that it wouldn't have had.
I have to be honest with you. I think considering that was a very, very happy accident, and this was the thing that made the movie a success. Considering that, I would suggest, I don't know for certain, but I would suggest this was the model that Ridley Scott used for Alien.
For sure.
In terms of producing the creature.
Okay. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, there are some real similarities there. You know, there are times when obviously you just don't see the thing at all. You know,
suggested horror is so much more effective than actual.
Yeah, because when you still see it, it does look a little bit fake. But Christ, after watching clips of the other Jaws movies, it still looks better than this actual sequels.
Did you know there was a fifth one? There was a fifth.
There was?
Jaws.
No
There was
way.
a fifth one.
I never knew that. Wow.
There was a fifth Jaws film called Cruel Jaws. The whole thing is on YouTube.
Holy shit.
Find it. It is absolutely hilarious. It is hilarious.
Wow.
Can we do that instead?
Let me get it up. Let me try and see if I can get it up and share the screen. Okay, YouTube.
The sad thing is we're talking about how great this movie is, iconic and everything like that. I'm just thinking in the back of my mind, they're probably going to remake this thing probably next year at this rate.
I think they've been trying for a while.
What company owns the rights to Jaws?
Universal.
Okay.
Yeah, Universal own the motion picture rights. This Jaws 5 film is not. It's all on YouTube because it shouldn't technically exist. They even use bits of Jaws in the film.
Wow.
It was made by Bruno Mattei, I think his name is, and it's hilariously inept.
Can I give you
There's
my
one scene
rundown?
where they've got the shark by the boat, and the woman's trying to set the shark on fire with like gasoline, and a bloke's got a flare gun, and the shark knocks the boat. She ends up covering them both with gasoline. He fires the flare gun.
That's what happens in Jaws too.
The boat explodes.
I'm just getting it up now. I'm just getting it up now.
Is this one of the Italian Jaws rip-offs?
I don't know if it's a Jaws rip-off. I mean, it's...
Yeah, the way you tell it, it sounds like they're just putting just a few clips from the other Jaws movies and try to pass it off as something new. It's
kind of. There's a lot of you can tell the footage that's been taken from the Jaws films, and then you can tell the stuff that. I mean, the shark has never looked faker. It looks like a paper mache shark type thing.
Well, I've got it up now.
I think this film I think this film set off the Sharknado craze.
Wow.
Because this is very much like a proto Sharknado with the ridiculous of what goes on.
But then, what's his name? Enzo Castellari. He also did a couple of shark movies as well. Towards, I think, in the 80s, I believe.
Okay.
This is Enzo Castellari who did Inglourious Bastards and all those.
When was Jaws 4? Jaws: The Revenge, the one with Michael Caine in it. That would have been.
Was it late 80s? Something like 88.
Yeah, definitely was
88,
88, something like that.
Yeah. What was that quote in the interview? He said, he was like, someone went up to me once and said, I saw Jaws of the Range. It was rubbish. And he's like, I didn't see it, but I did see the house it bought my man. And it's beautiful.
The Revenge was 87.
Yeah.
87.
Put this trailer on anyway first before we go on. It's we've got this has got to be seen. Oh, come on.
Oh God. Oh my God. What the?
You can tell it's Italian straight away.
Zombie flesh eaters.
this was 1995. This is definitely all fucking clips and stock footage. Yeah, that's on the face.
Yeah.
My God.
Oh no, he's gonna get me.
Doggy.
What the hell?
Look at the eyes on. Why are you jumping
Oh
in?
man, the scene on the pier is hilarious.
My God. Wait, where'd the gate come from?
Yeah, the regatta does not go well.
I don't think we'll go on so long. I think we've got the idea anyway.
I don't understand this trailer. There's no voiceover telling me what's going on. It's
Nope.
just,
No,
here's a
it's just
shark
clips.
eating people.
It's just clips.
It's a hilarious film. It's not good. It's not good for one
It's
second.
not good.
It really isn't. But it is really, really funny.
I'll be watching that later.
Hogan
I'll
standing in it.
definitely be watching it later.
That's what we are doing next week for Death Walk.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a good bad movie. Put it that way.
Fuck Spielberg. Get that on.
Mm.
Can I give you my rundown?
Stephen who?
Al, you mentioned a remake. Somebody mentioned a remake earlier, and I was thinking of exactly that. They'll do a remake, and it'll be all female, and
Oh,
we'll
God,
have we'll have Daisy
Oh, yeah.
Ridley.
I actually
Daisy
saw a
Ridley as
comment in
Maddie
the,
Hooper.
Yeah, because I actually saw a
The
comment in the
bestial test will be
review on
passed
this.
on the boat.
Daisy Ridley will be Maddie Hooper. Kristen Stewart will be Chief Marion Brody, and we'll have Brie Larson will star as Quim.
And this thing,
There you go.
the bad guy is a great. It's a great white shark. That's the
thing
ultimate
is,
villain.
Oh dear, yeah.
Yeah, I saw someone in because I was watching the Critical Drinkers review on it again as well, and someone in the comments said, "Jaws 2020, the girls kill a baby shark so easily, the end, and that's it."
Yeah.
That was someone thought that sums it up. That.
Well, Luke, before we get into it, people, you remember this is considered, for us, a horror film, but the rating, besides one person really getting killed on screen, this is a PG film, not even PG-13.
Oh yeah, there's some fucking gore on this, man. There's some gore in this movie. Severed limbs, everything. Quint Step is very fucking brutal. I'd
argue that's probably the most brutal death in the film.
Yeah, it freaked me out as a kid though, but just to see him screaming like that and have that blood just,
especially when he's kicking. We'll get to that, man. But yeah, like I said, this came out in '75, so I was like 6 years old watching this film, and this will terrify a 5-year-old.
Plus, I think there wasn't really that much strict certificates back in the day. Like, you had like the X certificate shit like that, but
yeah. Well, the film's got no real swearing either. These guys they're not dropping F-bombs left and right.
No. And there's no sexual content in the film either.
Yeah.
Even if there is in the book.
There nearly was, because in the novel, what's her name?
She has an affair with
Brody and
Brody's wife.
Yeah, Brody's wife.
Start the engines, Mr. Hooper.
Sex scene in this between Brody.
So when did we all first see this movie?
Yeah, when did we all see this?
So when did you first see this movie, Northern?
Oh, it was really, really small when I first watched it. I think it was one of the earliest films I remember watching, and I used to watch it tons, man. I was obsessed with it. Obviously, my dad watched it once, and I think that's it. I wanted to rewatch it again, and thank God he taped it at the time. And it's been a while as well since I've seen it, and I've just watched it again recently to try and hopefully refresh my memory and all the bits I may have missed as well. And yeah, you kind of forget how good this film is sometimes if you don't watch it enough. But yeah, Inside Man, first time you saw this movie.
Well, I actually saw it on its release.
Wow.
So I was 8 at the time, and my parents were in town shopping, and this is when we lived abroad, and they dropped me and my sister off at this cinema called the Oscar. So we went in, and I was completely bowled over by it. And of course, when we finished watching the movie and our parents picked us up afterwards, we just nagged them to see it again. So we actually went to our local drive-in theatre. So we kind of cajoled our parents into watching this movie at the drive-in theatre the same night. So we went to the drive-in theatre, and it was amazing. I mean, at the end, when the credits rolled, the whole drive-in theatre, all their lights were flashing, and everyone was tooting their horns. That was kind of the way of, in the drive-in movie theatre, that people used to, exercise their sort of applause, if you like, and their joy for the film. So everybody was like tooting their horns and flashing their lights at the end of the movie. It was an amazing experience. And 2 days later, we went to see it again. Even my parents were enamored by it. So we went to see it again at the drive-in movie theatre. So that was the first, second, and third time I saw it. So on its release.
Yeah, that's got to be an experience, just seeing it and not knowing what to expect. I mean, it's a film about a shark. What else could there be? But then you watch it and there's so much more to it than just guys trying to kill a shark, and that's it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, Joe, first time you came across this movie or first saw this?
I don't remember the first time I saw it though, but it is my wife's favorite movie. So I started watching a lot when we started dating. But every time it's in our local theater, we have to go see it because seeing it on the big screen, it's like night and day. Quint's speech is so much more horrifying on a big screen than on a TV. So I highly recommend seeing it in theaters versus on TV.
Yeah.
Well, they are releasing a lot of movies in my cinema, old ones, so I'll see if it's on the schedule someday, because I don't want to see that.
Yeah, ours is like Tuesday, old movie day, like The Mummy, or just all the instant classics, and it's just so much better than anything coming out today, sadly.
Yeah, sadly, we never get that. It's just mostly like whatever's scheduled, and it's I wish. I need to have a look at it though. I really need to look at my local cinemas, see what's happening.
The good thing is that we still have this movie for life. It's still there, regardless of all the garbage that's coming out. We still have this, and we can always revisit it, and that's the beauty of these older movies.
I think it gets better with age too. It's not one of those movies that after you watch it 20 years later, it drops off. Like, no, this movie is still top 10 on people's list, I imagine.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, as you grow older, this is one of those films where you gain a new appreciation for different aspects of the film. So, for example, if you were to watch this film as a father, you would get a completely different feel from the film as if you weren't, because you would identify with what Brody's going through, especially when it becomes personal, and the shark almost kills Michael.
Mm-hmm. And Mrs. Kintner, don't forget.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Plus, you do kind of notice it as well, just how kind of petty Quint is towards Hooper. I mean, even though Hooper's showing what a competent...
That was real, too. That was real. Robert Shaw made Dreyfus's life a misery.
Wound him up more.
Misery up until when they did the drunk scene.
Yeah, no, apparently he sprayed him with a hose, didn't he, and walked off the set. Or was it Hooper that did it with Quint? I can't remember now. I need to look at the trivia. But they did eventually apologise. Apparently...
Well, Shaw didn't respect Dreyfus as an actor, because like Dreyfus had only done one film, I think, or something stupid like that. Well, Shaw was a playwright, a veteran actor. He'd been on stage and all that kind of thing. And he just didn't respect him. It's as simple as that. And egos are going to, when you put three people on a boat like that, egos are going to get in the way. So that combined with a load of seasickness and everything else that comes when you put three sort of dudes on a boat together,
I also think that that this was maybe Shaw's way of getting Hooper to getting Richard Dreyfuss to act, because
quite possibly
he did say that prior to the cameras rolling, that he was a lovely guy. He was a really soft and really lovely person to be with. But as soon as you actually got on set, you said, walk on set.
I mean, let's face it, loads of directors have done it, haven't they, to get performances out of their actors,
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Grandad, first time you saw this movie anyway. Come on, I need to go around, don't I?
Okay, let's go. Okay, so I remember my father went to the cinema one night, and I remember him, I can still see him coming through the door looking flustered. That's the memory I have. And he'd been to see this movie called Jaws, and he was telling me and my mum about it and what happened in the movie, etc. And I was intrigued. I think I must have really pestered him. He ended up taking me, and that was in 1975. And I was 7 years old, and I was absolutely what's the word? I was absolutely horrified and mesmerized and blown away at the same time by what was happening on the screen, because I hadn't really had that many visits to the cinema. The first time experience I ever had was a rerun of Zulu, and that was a couple of years before. I was about 5 years old.
Oh my God.
And my dad took me to see that. I think we saw The Sting in Richmond in North Yorkshire in 1973, which I was
another great Robert Shaw movie.
Great movie. I was a bit too young to appreciate it at the time, but for all, like, I didn't have a great relationship with my dad. Some of you might know.
No.
But one thing he did do was take me to see some of the greatest sort of cinema movies in history. Indiana Jones. I went to see King Kong 76. I saw Clash of the Titans. Star Wars. That was unreal. You probably know yourselves. Return of the Jedi, Jaws 2, just countless sort of movies. But yeah, I was 7 years old. So this film is really, really sort of special to me. It just reminds me of long, hot, lazy summers and hanging out with friends and the 70s and 80s, drinking cans of Top Deck Shandy in a
Top Deck. Wow.
In a hot meadow somewhere, just chilling with my friends. My entire family was alive. Simpler times, good times.
Yeah, and that must be the reason, and it's also the reason you recommended me to do this as well, which I happily obliged, because even though I had not seen this movie in a long time, I remember, like I said before, I remember really loving this movie, and needed to rewatch it again. I
think you kind of can't sort of not love it. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say a bad word about Jaws. And I know Star Wars takes the limelight, but there's so many people that I've come across in my life that went Star Wars are rubbish or garbage or whatever. I've never heard anyone say that about Jaws.
Yeah, because you can be a kid and an adult and love it well. Yeah. Star Wars, adults are a little bit funny saying, it feels a bit kiddie to me. But Jaws, no, this is like men on a fucking boat doing
exactly.
stuff, shit, doing men's stuff, it's because it is a very more adult movie. But thanks for that, Fan Dad, man. And critical first experience with this movie anyway.
Never seen it. Is it any good?
No, it's rubbish.
Great, man. We don't on here. Watch the movie before you do it.
I thought this was about the James Bond villain. I had no idea. I thought he got in his own film.
I would love that.
Starring Richard Kiel. No, I'm actually one of the few people out there that read the book before I saw the film. So when I was a kid, I was obsessed with sharks. Absolutely obsessed with sharks. When I was a kid, I didn't want to be an astronaut. I wanted to be a marine biologist, even though I couldn't swim. And I had loads of shark books. I think I actually had the shark book that Brody looks through in this film, because I certainly recognise some of the pictures. So when I was a kid, I had loads of shark books. I had books on shark attacks, all that kind of stuff. And I remember reading Jaws in my dad got those Reader's Digest books. I didn't know that, but it was like a book made up of lots of other books. And I remember reading Jaws in that. And I would have been, I don't know, maybe I would have been young to read that book. I would have been like maybe 7 or 8. So probably didn't take it all in properly. But I was just like, sharks, really cool. And then I remember my first experience with Jaws was when we went to Butlins, which is like a holiday camp in the UK for the Americans out there. And they had Jaws the Revenge on in the cinema. And we were like, oh, cool, let's go see Jaws the Revenge. I'd never seen any of the other Jaws films. And we watched about 10 minutes of it before my little sister got scared and we got dragged into the fucking Care Bears movie instead. So after that, and I would have been like, I know, slight difference. And I would have been like maybe 9 or 10 at this stage, because I don't think it was like a theatrical release. I think it was just something they were showing afterwards. I don't know when the Care Bears movie came out, nor do I care. And after that, I was just like, I want to see all these films. So I was devouring shark documentaries, like National Geographic ones, and I saw Jaws. And I mean, as a kid, I was just sort of blown away by the film. Ironically, I did not go back and watch Jaws Revenge till much, much later. And I should probably thank my sister at some point, because I think we got spared a really bad film. But over the years, I've seen all of the Jaws films many times, and newer films like Deep Blue Sea and stuff like that. And while I don't like the silly shark films of like Sharknado and all that kind of stuff, certainly the way that Deep Blue Sea reminded me of Jurassic Park and sort of fed off of that idea. But none of them, absolutely none of them, have the depth, the impact, and the I want to say that the profundity of Jaws. It is more than just a shark. It's about this man's battle with his fears. It's about, obviously, Quint is basically Ahab from Moby Dick. No matter what way you look at it, he is Ahab. You know, the experience with the sharks on the Indianapolis,
could be Jonah,
you know, has changed him. And you can see the point in this film where the shark becomes his whale, you know, and he's absolutely driven, and he goes mad. He goes mad, and it gets him killed.
Oh yeah, because
Like
I mean,
Ahab.
he even trashes the bloody radio when Brody radios for help, which
And then he
probably
wrecks the boat.
but
He
no.
wrecks the boat trying to drag Jaws into the water, so into the shallows. So yeah, it's an amazing film. It's one of those films where there is so much, if you excuse the pun, under the surface.
Yeah.
So you look at the film at a superficial level, but then you look at the themes that are explored in the film, the characters in the film, and everything like that. And there's just so much more than you would first imagine. So it's classic for a reason. And as I say, I read the book first, and therefore I was quite taken aback by the changes from the book. But I think in general, the film, especially the ending, which Peter Benchley and Stephen Spielberg clashed over, because I don't know if you've read the book, but in the book, the shark just dies of asphyxiation. It basically gets worn down by being barreled and harpooned, and it just runs out of strength and just sinks to the bottom of the. It's just about to eat Brody. So Hooper's dead, spoiler. Quint's dead, spoiler. Brody's just about to get eaten, and it just stops about a foot in front of him, and then slowly sinks to the bottom of the ocean. It just dies, because sharks drown if they can't go forward. It's out of strength. And obviously Spielberg was like, no, I can't have that. I need a big crowd pleasing moment. And he was right. Even back then, at 26 years old, Spielberg was right. He knew what the public wanted. And that's one of the most important things about Spielberg's career. He knows how to please an audience.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that Toxic would almost certainly agree on, actually, that this is one of the times when the movie is considerably better than the book.
Yeah, because I think someone who made the film wasn't so keen on the book because the characters were very unlikable. I can't remember who it was that said it, but
yeah, I mean, Hooper's an absolute piece of shit in the book. He really is.
He's shagging Brody's missus, isn't he?
He is, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And it's worth noting that Benchley did do the screenplay, the initial screenplay for Jaws, and Spielberg took one look at it and just kind of went, "That's not a film screenplay. You've just adapted your novel, and that's not going to work."
But it's a good first step, though. I mean, it's you know, in terms of the progression of a script, you know, it's good to have that as a first draft, so you have that in black and white in front of you as a screenplay, and then obviously you can start doing all your crossings out and taking away all the stuff that you consider to be erroneous.
And the guy who did do the screenplay ended up being in the film. Got through.
Carl
Gottlieb. Yeah.
Gottlieb, that's it. Yeah, Gottlieb.
Yeah, Carl Gottlieb. And I beg your pardon. He actually wrote pretty much the definitive making of book.
He broke the back of the script, so to speak, didn't he?
Yeah, and apparently he didn't really get credited, even though he got paid for it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or was that? No, that was Howard Sackler.
That's it, Howard Sackler. Yeah.
Spielberg did about 7 drafts. He handed it over to Sackler. I think he was a good friend of his at the time.
That's
Sackler
right,
didn't have time. He had 2 weeks or something to work on it. And then it was about 2 weeks before production started. And I think Gottlieb, luckily, sort of turned the script around into what we know today. And obviously,
I mean, let's face it, what happens in a novel doesn't always work in a film. They're different. They're different formats of media. They're very different formats of media.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, if they adapted Lord of the Rings faithfully, it would take another 10 hours before the Hobbit actually met up with Aragorn in the Prancing Pony.
And as I said in my latest video, where I talked about why I'm not talking about Rings of Power, if they made Lord of the Rings as it is in the book, it would be a musical. Because they're constantly,
oh my god,
constantly singing.
In fact, Fellowship is just it's full of songs.
Yep, it really is.
Tons of songs. I mean, there's
because he does a lot of
Tom
exposition.
Bombadil and
exactly. Songs about was it Beren and the two elf people. All the stuff, all of the background or the lore in Fellowship, as you say, is told through songs. So Jackson was quite wise to leave that out. As I say, novels don't always make for great films, and that's why you've got screenplays.
Yeah.
I don't know, 10-hour Lord of the Rings with song and dance. I might be into that. I don't know. You're kind of selling it on me.
Oh yeah, Blue Collar. Before we move on, we'll ask Blue Collar ones this first time.
Like so many films, dude, this came out before I was born, so you grew up as a kid watching it, so I don't remember. Maybe 5, 6, and of course everybody remembers this little thing called VHS. So that's all. I just remember growing up as a kid. My grandfather, he was said he's a Army veteran, and this film he would not watch it. Something about this film just bothered him. Because remember that was a different generation. These guys born in the 30s and 40s. Remember how different generations are desensitized. Like my kid would see this now and laugh, but for my grandfather's generation, these guys would see a shark film. This was the horror film. Just like for my dad.
Yeah, did he have PTSD or something? Maybe
he just said it's something that I remember watching as a kid. Grandpa, let's watch Jaws. He goes, the opening scene with her screaming. Well, we'll get to it, but that scene really, for some reason, that scene bothered the fuck out of him. He said, Chris, I can't watch this film. It really bugged him the whole and that's a true how you start a film. That's a real horror film. I mean, the element of her, and all it is just one actress in the middle of it's nighttime and she's gasping and everything. And so this was
it's so violent too. Like it is really violent. The way she's being thrown about
the shark does come out at that time as well to bloody feed. Except they can't really see, so they have to rely on their senses to get their other senses to get their prey.
And because they couldn't record any of the audio for it. The actress
my mother
water down her throat.
Yeah, what's like my mom? She went to a Catholic church as a kid. The Exorcist. My mom was 16 watching Exorcist, and again, different generations. That film gave her nightmares for months because she went to Catholic school. So seeing The Exorcist back then to me compared to now, but for a film back then, it's just it messed her up for 6 months, man. She couldn't sleep.
Yeah. My mom was wrecked by The Exorcist.
Your mom does what in hell?
Oh yeah,
it's funny. I was about 14 or 15 when I saw The Exorcist. Holy crap!
I'll have to do that as well because apparently fucking people ran out screaming halfway through the movie, or maybe even before halfway through the movie. It was that terrifying. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that another day, though. Definitely for another
quickly continuing on what Chris was saying on what Blue was saying. Goodness me! I mean, the effects of this film, though, it affected people in a profound way. I can't even begin to tell you. If you were around at this time when this movie was released, nobody would go near a river, nobody would go near a beach, nobody would even go near a swimming pool. Swimming pools were pretty much considered to be off limits by people. They wouldn't go in the water, full stop. It had that kind of effect on people. Definitely.
I was the same. I was the same when I was a kid.
It was a bizarre thing to have happened, but it happened around the world. And when a movie has that kind of effect on people, I mean, you've got something. But I mean, like I say, I lived abroad, and the beaches where I was. I mean, like the beaches in Cape Town. I mean, they were abandoned anyway because they did actually have great white sharks there, and they still have great white sharks.
They call them white pointers, don't they?
Yeah, and of course, all along the coast of South Africa, Port Elizabeth, Durban, etc. The beaches were completely empty. Nobody would go in the water. No one. And
let's not forget that the other thing that this shark did was kill a lot of sharks.
Yeah.
Years after this, people went out there, and because the shark was the new Hollywood boogeyman, basically.
Yeah, you're
Do
right.
you think it would? Do you think it would have been?
Is eat and swim
And make baby sharks.
Do you think it would have been a different case though? Or do you think that the fact that people didn't go in the water, that wouldn't have happened if the film had gone according to plan and we'd seen a lot more of the shark? I think the fact that
I think you're right.
You can't see it. And it's there under the surface, and you don't know what it is, how big it is, or
there's a realism, to the film that is reinforced by the fact you don't see the shark.
Yeah.
And also, let's not forget things like Spielberg filming it from the waterline, making you feel like you're in the water, and that was something that was set up by one of his cinematographers.
And it's right at the beginning of this film as well. The first shot is that and the point of view of the shark, so you know it's coming. Something is coming.
Everything just combines to make this a very unsettling film that gets right under your skin.
Yeah.
And it just cuts straight away to these kids having a laugh on the beach, just having a few beers, and this guy thinks he's about to get lucky with this very pretty lady.
Oh yeah.
I know.
She's a free
thankfully the alcohol saves him because he's too fucking drunk to take his clothes.
Alcohol saves lives. I'm telling people.
I just can't walk or dress myself.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
Just quickly, I don't know whether anyone's ever seen the woman that plays Chrissy Watkins now. Let's just say the years have been particularly unkind.
Oh damn!
Yeah. Oh, she's got to have been in her 20s when this came out. So she'll obviously.
I'll put pictures later for you guys.
Now.
Oh, wow, the years have been unkind.
Bless.
What's the name of the actress again? Then?
Susan Backlini.
I'll get it for you later, Luke.
That's it. Yeah.
Susan Backlini. That's her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she passed away as well in May 2 months ago. Yeah. So.
Shark attack. Was it Shark Attack?
Oh, really?
God, that would have been crazy if that was true. Damn, man.
She drowned in the bath.
You need a nice shark.
Bless her.
Let's have a look. Just a heart attack. So yeah, God bless her, man. God bless. Yeah,
God bless her. Not a shark attack, a heart attack.
Condolences to her and her family, but
time gets everybody in the end.
I know, but she'll be forever immortalised in this iconic scene, and
it is stupidly resonant as well. It really is. Like it's one hell of a way to open the film.
I know. Yeah. You don't see it, just hair screaming. That's enough. That's all you need.
Well, first she gets hit.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's what the hell just hit her because we don't know as an audience member. And then like you said,
she's like a bump in it. And she's wondering what the fuck is going
what the fuck? Because first it doesn't bite her, it bumps her.
And it's funny. I've got to just quickly say something. I had an experience. I was swimming in the Med a few years ago. This is back in 2018. I was quite some distance out, and I got into some. I was in pretty deep water. I mean, pretty deep water. So it was quite some distance away from the beach, and as I'm swimming along, I thought, right, okay, I'll rest a bit. So I'm treading water, and there was a massive bump against me on my back, and I thought, what the fuck? And then I kind of looked around. I thought maybe it was another swimmer or something. So I looked down. It's incredibly clear, crystal clear. Couldn't see anything. And then there was another bump against me, and I thought, Jesus Christ, what the? So obviously I swam straight to shore.
Did you hear the theme tune in your head?
I did. Yeah. All I could hear was whistles and people saying. All I could hear was whistles and people saying, "Get out of the water! Get out of the water!" But it was, let's just say that I completed a rather large bowel movement as I was.
You get like a POV shot behind Inside Man. There's a whole trail of brown.
Was that oil slick behind you?
I have to point something out about this particular part of the movie. We talk often on these streams about sort of conscious choices of things, and the fact that she hasn't got a bathing suit on or any clothes at all. She's fully naked. That is the most vulnerable you could possibly be anywhere on Earth is totally naked, which gives it another sort of layer of sort of terror, if you like, or fear.
Yeah.
That she's got absolutely no protection whatsoever, and
it also ties into the horror trope as well, doesn't it? That if you're sexually promiscuous, then as a teenager, then the killer's going to get you. Like Jason, like Michael Myers, and stuff like that. So
Psycho in the shower.
Well, that's actually what the screenplay. I think that's how Carl Gottlieb got the job, because he said if we can make people feel as bad about the water as Psycho did about taking a shower and give that kind of fear, that's what he was going for. And then that's why Spielberg went, or maybe it was the producer, maybe more likely, said, yeah, we'll give you the job on that basis, on that cell. So they were always out to make it scary.
Yeah, for me, it's just the way she breathes, where she's like, like that, and like,
God,
she's screaming, help me, and it's grabbing her leg, and just,
it's the violence. It's the violence for me. It's the way she's thrown about. It is just so brutal.
Sound as well, that guttural, awful sound that she makes. As she's
it's not a man either. It's not a man that's killing her like in Psycho. It's just an animal, an instinctive animal. It doesn't care about if she's a virgin or not. All it is food to her.
And at this point, we have no idea what it is or where it is, or how big it is.
And as Al was saying earlier, actually, and it's a very good point, because we've been talking about sound on some of the other streams. Al was saying about some of the dialogue that she was trying to say. Obviously, a lot of it was unfathomable. They couldn't hear exactly what she was saying, apart from when she says it hurts. But the other stuff that she's trying to voice, as Al was saying, that they had her in the recording studio doing ADR, and they were just pouring water down her mouth, down her throat, as she was trying to speak, as she was trying to scream and everything. So it does sound very, very guttural.
Awful.
Dreadful.
And this whole scene, she's being brutally murdered. But look, no blood, no decapitations. It's just it's happening underwater, and that's in some ways makes it creepier. It's the fact that you don't see her getting cut in half. I
don't know which was more disturbing for me, like watching this when I was a 7-year-old child, or watching it as a father and a husband today. Because it hit differently. I watched this today, and it was parts of this, and I was absolutely just bowled over, horrified.
Was this scene shot light for dark?
No, I think it was actually shot at night. I think they did. This was a night shoot.
Because I've seen a few films where they do shoot at day, but then they darken the screen a bit.
That's why I thought it might have been.
There are a lot of a lot of different methods. I mean, this was a photochemical method that they would use for shooting day for night, but you kind of can tell, and how you can tell is shadows. More than anything, it's shadows.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you look at some of the day for night that's been shot on many, many films, just have a look for the shadows, and you'll know exactly that it was
these strong black shadows because of the sun.
But this was actually a night shoot, and
it's
obviously
got to make it even more terrifying, to be honest.
And they had the two guys, the groups of guys. So she was in a harness.
Yeah, and they had ropes.
Two groups of guys. That had ropes just pulling her backwards and forwards, and when she screams, it hurts. It hurts. Oh my God, it hurts. That was her actually imploring Spielberg. Telling him it hurts.
And Spielberg was the first one to dunk her as well.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he was the one that pulled her under, wasn't he?
Also, it's funny. Inside Man.
Directors trying to get performances out of their actors.
I did Band of Bros with Inside Man and Lance. And it's funny. He said how that film, that TV show is based upon military vets. Like I said, my grandfather was in the military, so I'm not sure what kind of shit he's seen. But for that opening scene to fuck up my grandfather, a man who's actually in the military and seen some stuff, like that shows you the power of the impact of a film back in 1975.
I would not be surprised if that gave me a little flashback or something from the past. I would not be surprised.
Like I said, there was stuff that he didn't talk about for a reason. He wouldn't tell me what he's seen, and that's like that was a different generation of men where it's like he saw some shit that he just was never talked about.
So then we move on to this poor lad here. He's just drunk. He has no idea what the hell is happening.
He got very, very lucky.
He could have been dessert really easily.
Yeah.
There's Lorraine Gary, who didn't really do a lot of acting. She kind of semi-retired and then came back for Jaws: The Revenge before retiring again. It's
After that
Probably
film,
made enough money.
Yeah.
yeah,
I thought he played a great character, to be fair.
yeah, she was she's just the wife of Chief Brody, isn't she? She's kind of different to him as well. Like she's kind of willing to be a little bit more risk taking while he's really overly cautious.
Yeah.
She did a lot of improv as well, didn't she?
Yes.
Like the line, "Do you want to get drunk and fool around?" I think that was just off the top of her dome, like.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Yeah, I
this
mean,
guy who was
you're going to need a bigger boat. It's improvised.
that was a good because apparently they had to when they used it to test audiences after the shark came out, they thought the scene wasn't long enough to create suspense after his reaction before he had that line. So so they shot some extra scenes to extend that little walk backwards. So he's obviously was meeting Brody. He's an overly cautious guy. He's new to this. He's an experienced police officer, but he's new in this town now. He's only.
And how often has
lived
this
for a
been
year,
taken and used in other films? Now, I don't know if this was the first to do it. Being 1975, I would imagine the concept has been in other films. But an out of town, from the city, moving to a rural area that they're not prepared for, and the change has been in more films than I can count since.
Fish out of water.
The fish out of water. Yeah, exactly that.
Take Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, and he's the least likely hero, and that's why I kind of like him, because Quint really is the guy who's more experienced in this kind of thing. Hooper is the guy who's more experienced in this thing, and he's the one that we have to sort of root at the end.
And he's terrified of water and he moves to an island.
I know. Because I think he talks about later that he was in New York and he just, no matter what he did, crime was just getting way out of hand. But
he couldn't make a dent. He wanted to go somewhere where he could make a difference.
Yeah.
It's only an island if you look at it from the water.
Yeah, that's a good line.
The funny thing is, where his house is positioned, and there's a theory that this is done by the mayor on purpose, but where his house is positioned, when he wakes up and looks out, he sees nothing but water.
Wow.
Every time he wakes up in the morning and looks out of the windows of his house. If you go back a few scenes,
I never thought of that.
you'll see it. He's permanently reminded of the water. So just keep going back. One more, I think. One more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can kind of tell.
It's on the phone for a while.
You see there?
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, there we go. That's a better one. That.
Just the horizon and water. He doesn't get to see. He's permanently surrounded by it.
Jeez.
So because later in the film, the car door has Vaughan Realty in it. I think Vaughan is the name of the mayor. It suggested that as part of a power play, he's given him that house on purpose. Because if you didn't really like the water that much, you think he'd get one a bit further in town.
I do like him as the main character because as an audience.
Yeah.
Plus, Roy Schneider was already like a pretty decent star. He had the French Connection as well previously, and
he played a cop in that, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think this might be the film where he kind of became a bit bigger. I don't know, because I think William Friedkin had him for Sorcerer a few years later, and they weren't exactly on good terms around that time by then.
Well, Inside Man, you met him, didn't you? You met Roy Scheider at some point. Is he there? He's muted. He might not be there.
Probably in the bathroom.
He normally goes. He normally goes ding.
He's gone for.
So now Chief Brody has been notified about the missing girl. They found a body on the beach, and
It's a man there. Is your mic playing up again?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
Yes, I did. I did. I worked with him on a film about the making of Citizen Kane, funny enough. And I met him a couple of times afterwards. So smashing guy, really, really lovely gentleman. Yeah, and he was a gentleman.
Cool.
He seems to have a sense of humour as well. I mean, his little cameos in Family Guy are really fucking funny.
Yeah.
was it? I'm crazy for your poo. I'm hungry for your poo. That one. That's it.
It's like Adam West. I think you get to an age where you're like, I just don't fucking care anymore.
Yeah.
We've done everything else. Might as well.
He did make a second appearance as well with Richard Dreyfuss, where it's like, hey, let's go catch up about Jaws. Okay, my number is 555. Wait a minute. Just give me your number. If you don't want to talk, just say no. You don't have to be a dick about it.
Yes, and this poor deputy here.
This is still pretty unsettling as well. Apparently, they buried the actress with her arm exposed.
That's a real person, because the hand that the prop makers made looked too fake.
I know. So that's a real actress's hand, and she's buried under that sand as well. I really
we're going to bury you, and then we're going to cover you in crabs. You're going to be all right.
Yeah.
I've already got crabs. So I don't care.
I got crabs.
I like that we don't really. I like how we really don't see that much. It's everything's just so subtle with everything too.
Everything's suggested. It's very well done.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Poor deputy. Well, all of them at this point, these guys didn't see a body that's been like eaten in half. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one cop was killed over vomit almost.
As well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's made quite clear that this is a very quiet.
Yeah.
You know, Amity is a very quiet place, and this kind of shit just doesn't happen. So the poor deputy is just not even slightly prepared for it. I love the way he's sitting there and he's just playing with sand because he doesn't know what to do. So he's just got sand in his hands. He's just letting it.
As an audience member, all we see is her hand and her arm. It's like, well, how much is actually left of her body? So these guys
don't find out till later, do we? It's not a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These guys walk in.
While they're trying to get this report done, this little old lady's talking about some man or other crime that's just not really much of a big deal. It's mostly just
kicking the fences. Kicking fences, if you remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the kind of town that happens. His crime is mostly just taking petty crimes that aren't really that extreme, but it's safer as well, and it can make a difference doing it.
It could be worse. People could be posting stuff on Facebook. That's a horrible thing.
Well, that could be nowadays.
I mean, but in the book, there was a big criminal organization in there, property organized.
That's why they want the beaches. That's why the beaches stayed open, because the mafia put pressure on the mayor.
Yeah,
you guys remember this?
Yeah, and that was in Peter Bentley's original screenplay.
I miss typewriters.
Spielberg was just like, no, we need this to be simple. We can't have like organized crime and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's just, and again, all correct choices. I have to say, the film is better than the book.
Yeah,
even though I read the book first.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that he's complaining about the new technology as well. He prefers to use the old things. And
goddamn right.
Yeah, and he's trying to do his job, and she's still hassling him about all this other bullshit that's going on. And it does kind of create a lot more backstory into the town that he's living in as well.
Well, it shows a lot of that. He's not being respected at this time because he's new and he's out of towner. He's got to earn respect, and that doesn't happen till later. So he'll be talked over quite a lot.
Can I just point something out? Can I just point something out with all of these images, right? And that is that every single one of these, just kind of absorb them and look at the framing of every single one of these images. They are immaculately framed. They're beautifully framed, and they're really, really well thought about. They're incredible. It's an incredible, first big movie. This is, I mean, it's an astounding film. But every single frame,
most of these new filmmakers
we've said it on a number of occasions on some of the films.
Yeah, because I mean, Brian De Palma was already doing stuff in the '60s, but it was like it seemed to be like the stuff in the '70s that became when he started really finding his stride as well. And but they all knew how to shoot a film anyway, didn't they? Before they became big, and it's and I don't think, but they always managed to find ways as well to try and create something new to evoke a mood in a very new, original way that no other filmmakers had done. And Spielberg was definitely one in there. It's probably one of his more
composition.
Yeah, I mean, not counting Duel, I think this is probably one of his more humble, bigger movies compared to his more bombastic ones like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
But once again, you're feeling, you're getting the idea of the whole town, the whole Amityville Island. It's like a character as well, just like Gotham City is with Batman. Yeah, this guy's complaining about kids bloody, and they complain about orders not coming through properly, in shops. It's it's like everyday life for these people, and it's very immersive.
Yeah. 4th of July weekend, man.
I know, yeah, and they've got to shut the beaches down. But obviously, this is where they come across the Mayor Vaughan, who will not have that happen because it's the economy as well. It brings money in,
and he's not wrong. I mean,
See, there it is. Yeah. Go back one scene. One shot on the side of the car. Vaughan's Realty.
Yeah.
Which I believe is that is an estate agent, isn't it? It's basically selling houses and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, so obviously
it's quite likely that he sold the house to Brody.
Yeah, that's a good little clue. That is a very good clue. I cannot believe I'd never noticed that before, but it does, once again, gives a little bit more backstory into the relationship between Brody and Vaughan. And
another thing is when he's going to, because he's now about to basically bully Brody into keeping the beaches open, where does he do it? When Brody's on the water.
Yeah.
Where is
he's least comfortable. He's literally on a raft in the water, which is why when they get to the other side, he goes, "Yeah, you can take us back now," because he had no intention of, he's just, it's mind games. It's a power play on Brody, and the three of them take their turns. There's an interesting power play dynamic here because I think you've got the journalist dude who's played by Cole Gottlieb. You've got the medical examiner. And they all one at a time take a shot at Brody, wearing him down while he's. And you can see here he's looking at the water already. Yeah. So he's very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
He's visibly nervous right now.
And it just goes. It's another example of showing who his character is as well. He's obviously willing to do the right thing, but he hasn't really got a lot of balls to stand up for what's right because he kind of just allows this guy.
At the moment, he is a weak character. He is out of town. He's from out of town. He's a fish out of water, as we've said, and he's not got the impetus to take charge. That comes later. So right now, you can see all three of them ganging up on him and beating him down.
I know. I mean, you don't need the mafia, mate. The way they're acting, they are the mafia.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, Vaughan's really good in this. The guy, I can't remember his name now, but the guy who plays Vaughan in this is really good.
Yeah.
Murray Hamilton.
That's it, yep.
Yeah, that's it.
That's Carl Gottlieb stood beside him, the writer.
Yep, that's good. Peter Benchley's in this as well, actually. He's the news reporter.
Upcoming, this line is fantastic where the whole, yellow barracuda, people are like, oh, what? Barracuda.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he's trying to sort of brush it under the carpet, isn't it? Say, listen, it's all a boat accident. It always happens, and he's a total sleazebag. You hate him just as much as you hate that blazer he's wearing.
Oh God,
he gets the doctor to change the report as well, doesn't he?
I know.
He bullied him into changing his mind. Asshole.
It's your first time here, though. You're new to town. This is how things work around here.
Yeah. I know. I mean, this is your first.
Well, this is bureaucracy in action, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Listen here, buddy. Do what I say. See.
Yeah, no, and it's like he's almost trying to get him on the side as well to play ball.
You shark.
Yeah, it's great. Even though the mafia and everything was taken out of this film, you still got that element here. Yep. And I love the bit that when they get close to docking, he's just like, yeah, you can take us back now. He never wanted to go anywhere. He just wanted to get Brody on the water.
Exert his dominance.
Yeah, exactly.
His dominance.
Yeah, it's a great line. Like, once you go shark, you have a panic on the 4th of July. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a big story between the kid and the mother here. I mean, apparently the kid.
Oh, the cafe. Yeah, that was
apparently the one that plays the mother as well went into a place that was actually called. It was named after the kid's character as well.
No, it was on the menu.
It was the menu.
She went into a cafe, and an item on the menu was called the kitten sandwich.
Oh, shit.
She turned around and said, "Oh, I played that character's mother." And
he was the owner.
Who owns the cafe was him.
Yeah, he owned the cafe. That's pretty touching. That is really touching. And
they hadn't seen each other since they filmed this film. But she died of COVID 4 years ago.
Oh,
really?
Oh,
damn.
I think there's only Dreyfuss and Spielberg left, isn't there? out of the
Yeah.
entire.
Yeah,
you're right.
What's her name? Still alive, isn't she?
Yeah, Lauren Garrish is still alive. She's way into her 80s now. She's
Strangely enough, bloody Valerie Taylor, who filmed the underwater shark footage for this film, is still alive. I found out she was one of my heroes when I was a child, because she did a lot of work with great whites, like including swimming with them and all stuff, like studying them and stuff like that. She's still bloody alive. She was born in Christ 50s.
Yeah, so she's got to be in the 70s. I would not be surprised if she's still swimming with bloody sharks.
It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, mate. It really wouldn't.
What happened to her husband then?
I think Ron Taylor died. Real quickly.
There's good scenery here because it's out in the daytime. Daytime never, nothing ever happens during daytime. But he's so on edge right now, but just like
he's kind of he's not really proud of his decision to let what's happening, and all these women around, they're just talking about these mundane things about being an islander, and it's something so small but so important to them. But the only thing to focus on him is the fact that he's probably allowing more people to die here.
And it's a really good build-up because it's it's like it's so unassuming. Everyone, it was a boating accident, nothing bad happened. It's just a dog playing, and
the way he uses people walking in front of Brody as wipes is absolutely fantastic. And each time
it's staggeringly good.
It's so good.
And there's two people screaming in the water. He instantly looks up at it too.
Yeah.
And I like the fact he's so
that's a great shot
as well.
Yeah,
it's so good. Ron Taylor died 12 years ago. Val Taylor is 88.
Oh, damn.
But as as World War Joe was saying, that shot, that moment where the two, the girl's screaming, and he looks over the guy's shoulder as he's talking to him. Oh, it's amazing. Great piece of work. I mean, but the composition of these shots is just amazing.
How high that bathing suit goes up too.
She had a nice little figure on her back in the day, though. She did. And yet she kind of shows just what a different person she is to Brody. She's actually she's always out to try and help him relax a little bit and loosen up and not be so tight. But
she's very supportive.
And she's also trying to integrate as well, isn't she? I think she's she's the one that's trying to integrate, and he's kind of still stuck in that same New York mindset. But she is trying to integrate. But it's quite interesting, actually. The way you have all these people talking about, when Lorraine's talking to the other actresses, the other characters, and one of them says, you will never be an islander. You have to be born on this island to be an islander. When she says, when will I become an islander? But they make it clear, that there is a very, very clear delineation between outsiders and islanders.
It's good right here. Do you know the muffin?
I mean, there was that feeling actually on set because they were all sort of invading that island, and most of the people on that island were kind of well-to-do, sort of snobby, if you like, and they didn't like the fact that they were being invaded by this film crew for the most part.
Because since we're not, I don't want to get too much into it though, but it's like why some people are moving to smaller areas because there's less crime than there is in the city. But we've got that guy shouting for the dog now, and that dog's gone. That poor dog is.
Where's up to the dog all of a sudden? Hey, tip buddy. And again, the whole POV from underwater, and just then you start hearing dun 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 dun. It's building. You go shit.
And how many
shot with Brody when it starts? And I think I might not have got it, but it's a good one where it just kind of pulls into it.
The dolly shot. The dolly shot is absolutely amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Groundbreaking. Really is.
I can't believe I did not.
So what they do is what they do with that is that they actually dolly in. So they've actually got the zoom. So there's a zoom and a dolly at the same time. So they pull out the zoom and dolly in at the same time. So it gives you a different perspective of the background in comparison to the foreground. So he stays the same size, but it's just the background that really moves. They've done it quite a few times in a number of films. I think it was done in a Hitchcock movie.
Yes, it was.
But did he invent it? I don't know.
I take
it gives you that sort of sense of panic that Brody is going through right now.
Well, look at the shot right now.
It disorientates you as well. That's the whole idea.
Look at the shot right now. Once you see the fin, the kid's flailing around, the fucking blood splurting out. It's a whole mountain of blood. Like, holy shit.
It is. It's like, God, man, it's gruesome. It's something.
Yeah.
But how many horror films do you see something so brutal happen in broad daylight? Just
very few.
Never.
Everything's at nighttime now.
That's what I'm saying. That's the genius of the buildup. Because how many horror films happen during broad daylight?
Not many.
And on the beach too, with everyone around.
Yeah.
Michael Myers kills someone usually in a house by himself, with secluded. This is broad daylight. Everyone in the world's watching, and they can't do anything about it. Like, what can you do?
And just to look on her face as well when she's looking for her son. I mean,
Well, that's the thing. All that happens is you've not got the shot, but the raft, the torn and tattered raft, just washes up, bloody on the beach. That's all you need to see.
Yeah,
that's all you need to see. It's more effective than anything else.
Damn, man.
That poor mom, Alex. Where's my son, Alex? Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Her kid was just eating in front of her.
Great use of color too, and actually quite scientifically true, because apparently yellow attracts sharks. Well, call it yum yellow. And
is it really?
Yeah, that's a real thing.
That's what's great on the beach. All you see is just this yellow life preserver and just blood. That's it.
Well, it's not a life. It's a raft. He's on like a little inflatable raft.
Right. Okay.
And that was probably quite appealing to the shark. I'll have some of that. Because obviously the reality is the sharks don't attack and eat people. They just don't. If they attack somebody,
what's weird about real blood in water is that obviously you get that initial kind of spread of red, but then it turns green. So the copper and the blood,
really?
the real blood turns green. So let's just say, for example, if you excuse me, if you run a sink full of water or have a bowl of water and it's a white bowl, you cut your finger, you dip your finger in. Initially, the first spread of blood looks red, but as it starts to dissipate, you'll see there's a slight green tint to it.
I might try that.
So, I'm going to take your word for it. I'm not going to try that. Or you people at home don't try it either.
Fucking balls of water now just to see.
We're not liable to
everyone remove one of your fingers.
I'm half impressed that you know that. I'm also half terrified that you know that.
Yeah, there's a story there somewhere. I was waiting to say that. He knows something.
This is where you go, ding, I was on Psycho.
There's reasons on Band of Brothers.
I don't know who this woman is, though, but the way she plays it as well, she really does play this woman with a little bit of fucking self-importance. She kind of cracks me up. She does. But, now they've got a town meeting and they're figuring out what to do. And Brody's obviously really pushing to close the beaches. And the mayor, and since he said it to the public, the mayor says, but only for 24 hours. He kind of just sandbags him, doesn't he?
Yeah, totally, there's no respect at the moment.
Throws him under the bus completely.
Yeah.
And then worms his way out of it.
Also, how do you hide the fact that a kid just got eaten in front of 100 people? Kind of obvious, buddy.
But this is when we start to, and he's going to hire a lot more people, shark spotters everywhere. Just get as many people as he can to try and catch this thing.
Yeah. I mean, on paper, that's a great plan.
Then we get the introduction of Quint as well, and
it's so good. And the really funny thing is that blackboard was empty when they walked in. Quint's drawn that on there. Quint's drawn it on there.
Number 1975, $3,000. That's a huge chunk of change, man.
10,000 as well, doesn't he? Pay me 10,000.
I get you the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Yeah,
but it shows exactly who this character is as well. I mean, he's not one to do anything conventional. He doesn't care about city rules or civilian rules. All he cares about is getting his job done and letting everybody know he will get the job done, and he will do it and he wants people to pay through the nose to do it because, he obviously knows what he's fucking doing, this guy. He's been there, done that.
Well, you know from scenes later that he has taken out a hell of a lot of sharks.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing, and he's thinking, I can make 10K out of this, and it'll be a thing that I have to do, but I'll easily be able to do it. It's much later in the film that he realizes he's underestimated this shark big time.
Plus, it's $10,000 American money, so it's real money.
Yeah. And of course, when we get to the Indianapolis part, that's when we know, excuse me, that's when we know exactly what his motivation is. That's why he's going out there killing sharks. That's why he wants to kill these sharks. That's why
it's almost like he's trying to get revenge on his dead comrades.
It's personal. It's personal.
Yeah. Dick, man.
These days, the film would be you'd have somebody literally go, "Oh, that's Quint. He was on the Indianapolis. He hates sharks." I guarantee it. These days, that would absolutely happen.
He's been trying to kill sharks since 1964.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's damaged, but I love him anyway.
It kind of shows what a really good versatile actor Robert Shaw is as well. Because when you see him all in From Russia with Love, he's very suave. But here he's all gruff. He's like scary. He looks like he hasn't had a bath in days. His clothes are all dusty and worn.
He's probably hungover.
He's probably hungover. He drank a lot on set. The first time he did the Indianapolis thing, he was really, really drunk because he thought it'd be better. And even he turned around when he saw the dailies and went, "No, can we redo that?" Oh shit!
but apparently they. Oh, actually, I'll mention it when we get to it.
Yeah. And
Is
then
it the production assistant.
So he gives them this ultimatum, doesn't he? Like, because and he knows they're going to end up calling for him one day, sooner than later as well, more than they care to admit. And we don't see him for a while, sadly, but. Obviously, Brody's become more obsessed with this now. He's determined to catch this thing. He's trying to learn as much as he can about sharks and figure out how it can help his progress. And this is another scene that shows just how cautious he is as well, because he's got his son this boat for his birthday, and first thing he's doing is telling them to get out the bloody boat, even though it's not even in the ocean. It's just docked, and that's it. It's just docked.
Yeah, I love the way she sees the picture in the book later.
Yeah, she's as well. That was cracking me up.
Yeah, you see all these pictures are in an old book I had, and it was an old book, so I do wonder sometimes if it's the same one, because I don't think we ever see the front cover of it.
Yeah,
and this is what
one where you see all the bits of the dude with his leg cut up and everything like that was in another shark attack book that I had. It's gruesome stuff. Probably shouldn't have been reading it at that age.
I mean, it's all these little moments like that Carl Gottlieb put in. He was the one that put the humor into it. He was the one that kind of gave the characters
there is
this kind of
humor as well. Yeah, especially with the other fishermen trying to catch the shark as well, and they are doing a fucking great job, Ali. They're just as dumb as the mayor is.
Yeah,
you got these two guys as well, throwing his wife's Sunday roast in there in order to get the shark.
Oh my god.
Nothing that's going to happen here.
Yeah. There's the book as well. You got, which is also a nice little setup for later. It's a nice little setup.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, hint.
Yeah, there's the pictures.
That's what I'm talking about. So I was looking at all of those kind of pictures at the tender age of maybe 8 or so. It was fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I had a book that detailed all of the shark attacks that had happened since like the 30s. And stuff, and it was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, these guys nearly fucking buy it as well. It's once again, it's very fucking intense. It is, but it's also very funny as well. Kind of like a nervous laugh.
we have that. We have exactly that. We have that kind of little humorous bit at the end, but boy, oh boy, I mean, is this a tense scene? It's so.
There's only small line dialogue when the mother looks down and she sees a shark. She's like, "Did you hear your father? Get out of the water now!"
The comedy is so good in this, so subtle, doesn't linger.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Well, apparently, the first time that Pete eventually wrote the book and handed it in, he'd done it as a comedy, and the editor of the publishing house had to turn around and go, "No! This is meant to be about a killer shark. You can't make it a humorous book." Which is why the book turned out like it did.
I'd love to read the comedy version of this.
It'd be hilarious. Well, I'd love to.
What were they thinking?
find the first draft or something. Yeah, because I mean, I would say that's just it was Benchley's first novel. He'd done a lot of writing, but it was his first ever novel. So yeah,
it's like the guy that did The Godfather.
Just didn't work.
Yeah. And this is also the scene where we meet Hooper as well. He's obviously one of the trained aquatic guys who's obsessed, who knows more about sharks. He knows a lot about aquatic life anyway, but it's sharks that seem to be his
marine biologist, isn't he?
Yeah.
And there's Ben Gardner. Hello,
yeah,
hello, back. How are you, young fella?
That's fine, man. Where are you?
He's an actual islander, him, isn't he? Craig Kingsbury. I think he wrote part of that Bluegills and Tommy Cod's speech for Robert Shaw.
Yeah, and this guy could have been just another like bookworm who's like really fucking nerdy and dweeby, but he's actually very competent, and he's got some fucking balls. This guy, he's sort of seen as a bit of a joke amongst other people, but he ends up to be a very good, competent character. He's very likable as well, and Richard Dreyfuss just plays him so well. He's got this likability to him. He's got this everyman likability that I like.
Most characters.
He's this rich college kid, isn't he? You can see everything. Everything about him. He's neatly groomed. He's got this little hat on. His rimless glasses and everything like that is all kind of impeccable and quite studenty looking. So quite different.
Yeah, and but the thing is, he does stand his ground though. He does. He doesn't come across all awkward, and he does have a lot of confidence in what he's doing. He doesn't fuck about, and God, yeah.
I mean, the performance from Dreyfuss is really, really good, really good and natural. I reckon a lot of his stuff was ad-libbed as well. If I'm being honest.
Look how young he was as well. I mean, he's still got a bit of grey on his beard, but he's very young there. Yeah, and look at all these guys as well. They're all just paddling in the boat. They aren't taking any precautions or ever.
I love the scene where they all go off, and it's like, what's that mad film about the chase where they're all trying to get the treasure in the cars?
Yeah, that's it. Except they're on boats.
Mad World.
Yes, Mad World.
Mad World. That's it. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, that is a good one. That it's on for a good while as well. But fucking, that's a crazy film with lots of laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love this bit where he tells him he tells Hooper to tell his guys to stop unloading the boat and
like that, whatever.
Yeah,
they're all gonna
just stop to fuck off.
So he's like, they're all gonna die.
I know. Yeah, even when they tell him to fuck off, it was like, all right, well, since you won't take my advice, could you tell me where a restaurant is? And they're like, yeah, you walk straight ahead.
That's power of money, man. Said that back then, $3,000 to just average blue collar workers. That's shit.
Out of curiosity, I kind of understand the plan of this of let's just flood the ocean with a bunch of guys with boats. Would a shark go for that? Or would a shark be deterred by that many boats in the ocean at one time?
Well, when you chum the water, the shark goes into blood frenzy. So it makes no difference how many boats there are. Once the blood's in the water, that's all the shark cares about.
True.
And they're all chumming. They're all chumming the water, which is where you throw bits of animal and blood in the water to attract sharks, which is a tried and tested method of attracting them in the first place. So it's kind of like a smorgasbord being laid out for the shark, to be honest.
Okay.
Plus, I think we established that this isn't an average shark because usually sharks don't attack people in the middle of broad daylight that close to a beach. So
territoriality, isn't it? If I'm
it's a rogue shark. It does happen this actually happens in real life. Obviously, not with 25-foot bloody killing machines.
Yeah,
but sharks have been known to be attracted to an area because of the feeding grounds, and that is when they're going to interact with humans. That's why there's the seal population and sea lion population dropped massively in the 40s and 50s because of decades of hunting, and then once that was made illegal in the 60s,
sharks
the
get
population shot straight back up. And when a food source population shoots straight back up, so will the predator.
It's funny you mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that. I don't know whether any of the English members of the panel have seen the recent news report on the marine expedition around the coast of Ireland, southern coast of
Ireland,
Ireland.
They're after a white.
Where they're after a great white. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they said it's because of the seal population, the increased seal population there, because they are an indigenous species to the British Isles.
Yeah. Wherever there's food, you're going to find white sharks. You know, and the thing is, as things like overfishing and all that kind of thing do affect ocean populations, predators will need to look for alternate food sources.
Precisely.
And seals are nice and juicy and fat, and they can keep a shark going for a long time.
This is a good scene, just showing how dumb people are. They're chumming the water.
Yeah,
drop it down.
Rick Roundabout in 4 ways is what?
Yeah. But it's another good illustration of the greed of people, and greed isn't. The theme in this film. Quint's greed, leads to him going out to try and get the shark for 10K. These guys' greed leads to them going out to try and just get 3K, and the mayor's greed and the island's greed is instrumental in keeping the beaches open and leading to the death of people. The one that doesn't have greed is Martin Brody.
Yeah, I mean these guys that are on the water, they're almost like prospectors, aren't they?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. As I say, it reminds me of Mad World. That treasure's out there, and they're all. Especially there's like 20 boats in one scene, and they're all crashing into each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, and one of them ends up bloody getting eaten as well, which we found out later. It's
and that scene was put in after the film was completed. It was filmed in Spielberg's swimming pool.
Oh, it was Werner Fields actually. It was Werner Fields, the editor. It was her swimming pool.
Right, okay. Steven Spielberg hadn't quite earned his swimming pool at that time, I must presume. Like Hatton Gray says, armchair bounty hunters. So we do get to the comments eventually.
This is a fantastic scene right here in so many ways.
When they bring the body out,
go check out their channel. So yes, obviously Hooper needs to see the remains so they can find out what kind of shark they are dealing with at the moment. He knows this stuff is. So obviously he's seen the remains now to find out what's happening, and it's they already know it now, but now they've got proper confirmation. Now he knows it's a shark.
Well, again, you missed the size of the tray. There it is.
Yeah,
everything of it is left is in that little tray.
The thing is, I mean, he's an expert, right? When he first sees the remains, he takes a deep breath. He takes his glasses off. He goes, "You might give me some water," but he's visibly uncomfortable. And this guy's an expert, so if this shit's making him nervous, then how bad is it then? Because he's like, all right, whoa, what's this?
And again, it's suggestive. Spielberg doesn't need to show us the body. Hooper's describing what's left of the body, and we're like, fucking hell, and we can see the size of the tray, and we're like, this is remains. This isn't a corpse. This is just,
he starts speaking scientific language, and the poor guy's writing down.
They can't even get a proper analysis of it as well to find out what actual shark was doing this, but and I love this line as well. This was not a boat accident. This was not any propeller. Wasn't coral reef. It wasn't Jack the Ripper. It was
That's a good line, man.
He just splashes the water in his face and then looks up, and you can just see that he's like, "Wow, this is hitting me,
Do not smoke in here, please.
Exactly. This next. Oh my god.
This is where the fucking dumbasses catch the wrong shark. They catch a shark, but not the shark. But we don't know that
tiger
yet.
Shark.
I don't know that yet.
What?
And tiger sharks have actually recorded more attacks on humans than great whites for the record. But this shark's nowhere near big enough to do that.
Yeah,
it's a regular shark as well, isn't it?
Because I've been hearing some shark experts say the whole territoriality is kind of a theory that where there's been no evidence, but the way you've just mentioned it, it kind of seems like it is, but just not with great whites. Am I correct?
Yeah, but it shows the stupidity of people too. Like these guys, like Adam Gray said, they're armchair bounty hunters. But like, look at the size of this thing. It's a decent sized shark. Something that small, that's not wiping out people. Like what they're looking for. Come on.
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, it's not the biggest sharks that are the most aggressive. Bull sharks are widely considered to be one of the most aggressive sharks, and they swim in river tributaries and things like those. And they're not massive sharks. They top out at like sort of 12, 12 odd foot, which is still big enough.
Yeah.
But they're much more aggressive as a species. As I say, when you look at a great white, it's an apex predator. It doesn't need to be aggressive. The only thing that's going to take out a great white is ironically enough, an orca, which is why they named the boat the Orca. A killer whale. So when it comes to a great white shark, they're going for CC lines. Nice.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Dun, dun,
Let's
dun.
go to it.
Is there a more iconic two notes in the history of cinema?
No.
Dun, dun. Everybody knows straight away. It's so well done.
The only one that you can
compare
it to really is the only one you can really compare it to, and there are comparisons to Psycho, and it is the Psycho theme. Is that as soon as you hear those, the first two notes of Psycho, you know what that is. As soon as you hear the first two notes of this, you know what it is.
Yeah. What I love about the notes in this is there's a real sense of the underwater about those notes. Like when you go underwater, how sound is different because obviously the sound wave travels through the water differently. So you get that kind of muffled, deep tone to it. And Williams just captured that absolutely brilliant with the actual notes that he's used. I'm not sure what they are because I'm fucking tone deaf.
Plus Toxic mentioned this earlier about the actual theme as well. I mean, Spielberg thought it was a joke. It wasn't the real one, but thank God he still stuck with it and didn't ask John to go back and go
it's so deep. It's just like, dun, dun, and again, I'm tone deaf, so I can't match the note. But
it's pretty close.
When you hear it,
it's very ominous. It's also very. It's simple as well. It's just simple enough.
It's got everything. It's got suspense in it. It's got the sense of underwater in it, foreboding. It's genius. It's utterly
genius. You're absolutely right. It's that simplicity that makes it genius.
It gets progressively violent as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It builds and builds.
It gets intense as well. The shark just does not fucking give up. It's
relentless, pounding.
But also there are moments where it's
Terminator.
There are also moments in it in the score where, I mean, it's so incredibly uplifting.
Oh, there's levity all over the place. It sounds archetypical John Williams.
Because John Williams still has this sort of whimsy to his music as well. This romanticism to it.
Even some of the bits who are on the boat later in the film have got that kind of uplifting trill to it that John Williams does so well.
The triumphant fanfare as they launch the first barrel of the
exactly that.
I thought it was over at that point. It's like, oh, you won, good.
No,
a half hour later, oh no.
Nope. And this film is an excellent example of why a score is so important in a film and why it is so hard to make a film with a minimal score, because the score adds a character to the films that
and that was exactly precisely that, and that was exactly what Spielberg said. Without the actual physical shark there, the score was the shark.
Yeah, the score is the shark, which is why you know later that it's a false alarm with the fin, with the kids. Because if you notice, the score is not played. So they're telling you it's not a real shark, even then. But unless you pick up on that, you won't know. But the score is completely absent.
You don't realize as well. It's like you don't notice it until maybe the 1000th time, or someone tells you about it, or someone notices it, because it's so subtle.
It catches you out as well later on when the shark, when he's chumming off the back of the boat.
Yeah.
No indication.
Fred, some of this shit.
It just pops up. There's no score at all.
Yep. Which is why it's a good jump scare, because again the audience has been tricked, and it may well be that was actually the first time round it was done on purpose to lull, to trick the audience, playing mind games on the audience. I don't know if Spielberg's ever commented on that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I think in one of the test screenings, that particular scene had people throwing popcorn in the air, and they absolutely screamed.
Yeah, it's the first time you get a good look at the shark as well, because they had so many problems with all three of the sharks that they built for it.
Yeah, because they did one where it was the left side that was cut in half, the right side cut in half, and then they had the middle part as well, the full part.
And they couldn't really get any of them to work. One of them's just been restored actually for a museum in America. I can't remember which one, I think it's
it'd probably be the Oscars Museum, maybe.
I think it is the Academy Museum, yeah. And they've just restored one of the Bruces back to looking good because it was left in the junkyard to rot.
I know somebody's trying to rebuild the Orca because the guy that actually owned the Orca, I think it was the advent of eBay. He decided, it had been intact. It was pretty run down, but it was intact for some years. But the guy who actually owned it, he decided it was going to take a chainsaw to the thing and sell little pieces of the Orca on eBay, little framed pieces, rather than restore it and sell the whole thing.
That
one of the most iconic boats.
Oh dear, no, don't do that.
Can I add to that story?
Yeah.
The original Orca, the one that they actually sailed on the water, was taken to the I think it was at the back lot of
that's right. Yeah. And it was the other one that they had. Yeah.
Yeah. Spielberg would visit that boat and just go and sit in it with nobody around and just have a little moment to himself. And I think he went one day and asked where the boat was, and true to what you were saying, they chainsawed it up, but they threw the whole thing out, and he went absolutely fucking nuts with them. The one that was sunk at the end was a fiberglass one, and that was just sat on a beach, and it used to get people coming round and sort of taking little pieces off it, and eventually, like you say, it almost rotted away. And that was the parts of that got sort of chopped up and sold on eBay. But the original Orca, I think it was called the Warlock, and they sort of fitted it out for the movie. But that was chainsawed up and fucking thrown away.
Such a shame, because that boat was they had the boat, and the scene when they did the barrels, where the barrels pulled away from the boat, was obviously done by a speedboat that you couldn't see, and they did it too fast and pulled out one of the a bit of wood basically off the boat accidentally, and the boat started sinking, and the film that they shot actually sank, and they had to go and recover it, and thankfully they could still use it for some reason. Apparently something to do with it being saline. The film was okay, and they were able to use it, but they actually sank the boat, and they had to get it back to shore, and they were like, get the actors off the boat, we can't let the actors drown, kind of thing.
The little sound guy said, fuck the actors, save
exactly. Yes.
I'm just looking at the trivia on that as well.
And that's the one fucking the documentary that takes the DVD up to a 12.
But there's a group of guys in America that are actually trying to rebuild an Orca.
That's great. They should do. It's a film. It's a moment of cultural importance, in my opinion. So,
it is cultural importance. You're absolutely right. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this is in the National Archives in the United States, the Library of Congress. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know that for certain, but I would suggest that it probably is.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the most. Yeah. I mean. But I'd also say that this is probably one of the most culturally significant movies ever made, apart from being one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah, I'd agree. The way that it affected the cultural zeitgeist has never been matched, in my opinion.
No.
Yeah, apparently the guy who did own the Orca as well, I think I'm just reading the trivia. During the scene where Quint, Hooper and Brody are loading up at the Orca, a small grey shack with a red door can be seen to the left of Quint's place. It belonged to an actual resident who at first was ticked off with the production because mist from the spray paint used on Quint's facade wound up floating onto his boats. When he discovered what was really going on and how naive the crew was about fishing and boating, he offered to assist them in their production. His equipment and expertise became so useful to them that without him, the film might have never been completed. He even became the role model that Robert Shaw chose to use his gruff fisherman character, Quint, obviously. Yeah. And though he was well paid for his services, Lynn Murphy never received credit on or off screen for the essential part he played in the making of this classic. So yeah, it was Lynn. Yeah, so it was Lynn Murphy that did get paid but didn't receive any credit for his work. So yeah, it's. Nice one, Lynn Murphy. Yeah, you helped save a fucking good movie.
Yeah,
good lad.
So now up to a scene where, Hooper is still not sure. He's trying to persuade the mayor just to cut the open and see if he can find any human body parts, see if he can find the kid in there or whatever. because it takes like
You can't
24
see the
hours.
pictures, just like.
Yeah. And this is where the mother comes up, and it's very tragic. And this is where it starts to really hit home for Chief Brody as well. The fact that he could have just stopped this and had more balls to stand up to the mayor, but no, he didn't, and he's pretty much allowed this kid to die as well.
Yeah, Luke, your screen's still off.
On the screen's still off.
Yeah.
Slides.
Yeah, sorry about that.
The slides are off. All right. Yeah, like Lisa, it's a powerful scene because they all want to believe that's over. The mayor does care about getting back to business, and Cooper's like, "Nah, we should be better safe than sorry." And this shark, the measurements doesn't add up, and they don't want to hear it.
Same present.
It's all this bite radius crap.
Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Coming up now. Here we go. Yeah, there it is.
There you go. I mean, to be fair, to bite somebody in half, it has got to be a pretty damn big shark. You know, I mean.
Yeah, of course, Chief Brody.
Yeah, another great scene. Great scene.
Yeah.
Subtle too.
And this
she absolutely nailed that part there, though. My God, that had me in bits that today. Like,
well, the way she says it too, she's like, a girl got killed last week, and you knew it.
You
knew about it.
And the thing is, he knows she's right too.
Yeah.
You know,
he knows that he knows that he's a coward and that he didn't do what was right, even though he knew he should have done. It's obviously he's fucking guilt ridden now, and he's got a little bit of reassurance from his little son as well.
I love this scene, and apparently again, this is another one of those little happy accidents where Roy was just there with the actor, the child actor.
They weren't shooting at the
child
time.
actor was just copying him. And he turned around to Spielberg and went, "Look, this kid's copying everything I do." And they decided to film it. So,
this is probably my favourite scene in the entire movie. I've got to be honest with you. I know many people say other scenes,
doesn't it? It's like it's like a moment to sort of calm down and let the character just be human, not just this guy driven by the plot. Just show that is even though he's a very overly cautious, very authoritative kind of guy who's not very morally strong, he's still a good guy. He still loves his kids, and he's a
father. I mean, a lot of Spielberg's films, emphasize the role of fatherhood, and this is just another one.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana Jones.
But this actually
really hit home for that as well, especially with his own father.
I mean, this is the reason this is my favourite scene is because it reminds me of me and my dad when I was a little boy, and subsequently reminds me of me and my sons. So I, from watching this when I was younger, I had a different kind of take on it, a different perspective on it. Watching this now, I mean, even last night, when I watched this at like 3 a.m. this morning. Watching this last night, I mean, I've got to be honest with you. I had a lump in my throat. It just reminded me of me and my sons. When my sons were little boys.
Because when you're a kid, you idolize your father, doesn't he? He's your hero.
It's just the whole scene. One simple line: "Give us a kiss." Why? He's because I need it. Oh man, I'm watching now, man.
And after that day, he does need it. He needs the love of his family to try and get him back on his feet here.
And that's somebody said earlier in the comments, and I can't remember who it is. I apologize, but this film is not about the shark.
No.
Yeah,
it's not about the shark.
I think there was Smilex said that.
Well, the book wasn't about the shark either, right? There was so many other things going on. The shark was kind of the plot, if I'm not mistaken.
The shark is a backdrop to a lot of interpersonal drama that's going on.
You can see Luke right there. Timestamp, guys. We are 40 minutes into this film. We still haven't seen this son of a bitch yet.
That's crazy.
Because we're just mostly just getting to know these characters as well. I mean, we've only just met Hooper not so long ago, and once again he comes back in as well because he's very sure that even though the mayor's telling him no, let's not cut this thing up. Let's just say we got the shark. Nip this in the bud. Now he's still trying to. He's thinking, let's just cut this fucking shark up anyway. Yeah. Fuck the authority. And
I love the bit where Brody just pours a whole glass.
It's like, just let it breathe. Just pours it.
You son of a bitch.
But it shows just how.
It's just like, oh, you're not going to let that breathe or anything like that.
I know, but
I just like I actually like the
this guy's in as well. I mean, after the day's just had, I mean, yeah, he's like, fuck this. I just want to get drunk, man. I just want to get drunk. I feel like shit.
But I actually like Hooper's audacity. I like Hooper's audacity, just walking in and saying, is anyone eating this?
Yeah.
Who would do that in somebody else's home?
Yeah, we get that as well, don't we? I mean, there's a lot of times where people just don't knock on the door and we just walk in, don't leave, and no one offers them in. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
But we see that in films a lot as well. They just take the other person's fries when he's playing. It's like,
is that an American thing?
Yeah. Not when it's Keith David in Men at Work. I mean, fucking hell. I mean, Emilio Estevez steals his fries. Keith David just tears him a new arsehole. It's
so. But it is. It's Cooper. It's cool. Like his little backstory. It's like he says, a 4-foot baby shark ate the oars, ate the boat, and like I said, you see like the chief going this and just pouring the whole fucking thing.
Once again, we're getting to know Hooper a little bit more as well as a human. It's and what's driving him, and you can see the amount of enthusiasm he's putting into the screen as well.
Well, I mean, this is the thing that makes the film so relatable to so many people, because not everybody can relate with having somebody they know being attacked by a shark. That's probably not happened to many people, but a lot of people can relate to the character dynamics that are in this film. And as I've just said to Atom, who quite rightly says that's why Godzilla Minus One is such an amazing film, is because that film's not about Godzilla. It's about the effect that Godzilla has on people and the effect of the nuclear war.
Yeah, it's sort of all about this. It's sort of like the brainwashing of the Imperial Army just starting to sort of wear off after the war as well. Yeah.
They lost. Japan's destroyed in physically and morally. Not morally, sorry. Psychologically, I should say. Well, they've got to deal with the fact that they were on the wrong side and they lost. And again, that is what Godzilla was always meant to be, was an echo of the atomic, fallout, as it were. And Hollywood has lost that lesson.
In terms of this, I mean, Hitchcock would actually call, as we almost certainly know, Hitchcock would call the shark his MacGuffin. And this is Spielberg's MacGuffin. It's the driving force. This is the driving force behind the story. It's not the story. It's the thing that drives the story.
Yeah.
And I do love this bit as well, where he tells Brody, "You're the only rational man on this island," and it shows that these two have a lot in common as well. They know something's up, and they are not willing to let this go. They are not gonna brush this under the rug or anything. They want to do this right. They want to do this properly.
Well, I think at this point, Brody is out of fucks. He's drunk. He just doesn't care. He's just like, look, you're right. We need to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. He breaks down. It's like he calls about the territory too, about the sharks feeding ground, and good saying. Let's just go cut this thing open, all right?
Yeah, we get to know. Yeah, we know a little bit about his fears a bit more. It's like, there's a clinical term for that. It's like, it's called drowning. It's like,
fear of water's a real thing, man.
Yeah, and he feels us a bit more like the shark is territorial. It's gone rogue. That's why this is happening. It's because summer's coming as well. There's more people going in the water, and he's sensing that.
I think above all, though, I think the impetus for Brody to go out on the water, which he fears so very, very much, it's got to be his family. There's an element of protection there and love for his family.
He's willing to go down to the Valley of Darkness to protect his family. The darkness he fears. It's and
that's when the pivotal point's going to happen later, when the shark attacks the pond.
Yeah.
Or the pool, sorry.
Finding out more shady stuff, like these reports aren't even being reported as well. Like these probably have happened before.
Mm-hmm. It's like Adam said, Brody's getting it from every angle here. Yeah.
And like you said, Brody is no more fucks to give, because he decides, let's cut this thing up, and I'm the chief of police. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
The power of wine. Come on.
Yeah. And he's drunk as well. He's drunk as fuck while this is happening. I don't know in real life though, but obviously the character is.
Yeah. And again, with Cooper, this scene is powerful because like it's just the special effects. Yeah, all like the water, like the milk, but like he's just like visibly, he's like, he's doing it, but like
gagging, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like it's gross.
Yeah. Oh, he found the license plate to Martin McFly's DeLorean.
My God.
Yeah, the DeLorean went into a shark and then he died. Fuck.
But he confirms it. Bottom line, like, yeah, this thing is, this isn't our killer.
Yes, and this is like,
Nice.
this is like stuff that has been from rivers out away from the ocean as well, and it's fucking.
It's clearly James Bond's license plate.
It is. It's the fact that Spielberg was fascinated and wanted to actually work on a Bond movie and was turned down twice by Cubby Broccoli.
Oh wow!
Why?
Yeah, exactly. You can see on there, Louisiana is where I think. What was the one with Robert Shaw? Live and Let Die.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, was it? Was it from Russia with Love?
God.
Yeah, I think it was. It was shot in Louisiana between 1972 and 1973.
That's Live and Let Die.
Yeah, that's the motto. Is something about the fishermen's.
It's like
I didn't actually realise it was a James Bond. I was completely joking.
Sportsman's Paradise is apparently the sort of motto for that province or wherever it is, somewhere in Louisiana.
It's like Fandad. It's so sad you have that, and I love you.
That's an amazing piece of trivia.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
So now they're going because it's night food and it's not the shark that we're looking for. They're gonna have to try and find him, and I love how Brody's like, I'm not drunk enough to go on a boat. And he's like, yes, you are. I was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
yes, you are. See, just the comedy's so good back then.
Not the shark we're looking for.
Oh yeah, no, these two actors just have. There's certain characters. There's a chemistry that you can't describe. You know, these guys got it.
Plus, he's speaking like an actual fucking drunk guy as well. I love it.
It's sad though that Brody's saying this stuff in 1975. You know, in New York, the crime rate is high, and muggings and shootings and all these other things. I'm like, yeah, it's 2020. It's 2024. It's still just as bad.
Just the cops.
But he's right. Like you guys said, it's like he's like, you know, he wanted to make a difference because in New York City, there's no point. At least here, you can make a difference. Yeah,
and it's not even big crimes like drug deals. It's mostly just people, lads kicking the bloody neighbours' fences, stuff like that.
26.
I was just like, he's not even really that interested. He's like, pretzel.
Some good male bonding going on here.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and it shows even more just how really knowledgeable fucking Hooper is about this stuff. I mean, Christ, he does not come across as a guy that's faking it. I don't even know if Richard Dreyfuss did any marine biology research or if he already knew that stuff because he comes across like he knows this stuff.
Yeah.
Everything was a perfect casting in this.
Oh yeah, I mean,
there's no Aquafina characters, cringe characters or anything like that. Everyone's just perfectly there.
Yeah, there's great chemistry. The dialogue is so well written.
Adding to the realism of it all as well. Nobody. I mean, the closest thing to somebody sort of being extra, larger than life is probably somebody like Quint.
Yeah.
Even then, because he doesn't show up until the film is well embedded into the audience's consciousness, you don't really feel of him as being, this larger than life character, particularly.
Yeah, I mean, he's only had one scene so far.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
This is
and even Quint becomes very, 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 very real once that Indianapolis monologue happens. You see him in a completely different way. Before then, he's full of bravado. You've got to see the hands. Yeah. He's used to counting money and stuff like that. He's very full of himself and very larger than life. But once that Indianapolis scene happens and Robert Shaw does that acting in his eyes when he's delivering that monologue, man, that's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah, I do like the fact that he's a bit more forgiving towards Brody as well because he's not a college kid. He has worked. He has seen he has been in the shit. He was a cop in New York, and he's not been in some lab as well. He's actually gone out there. He's a proper full-on working class sort of like street guy. But he's very under skilled in this kind of thing. While Hooper is, but because he was at college, he had probably had more of a privileged background. Who knows? It's Quint does not.
Underwater bit that was in Werner Field's swimming pool, and it wasn't. It wasn't Dreyfuss.
Really? Wow.
Oh, that's not Dreyfuss. Oh, okay.
I don't think it's Dreyfuss. No, I don't think he was available.
No, Spielberg, wasn't it? I think that was actually Stephen Spielberg.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Could have been. There was a guy called Sparks that they used, but I don't know if he was the one in the cage at the end.
I know Spielberg's the voice on the radio later. I know that's Spielberg, but I didn't know this was.
But such a great scene, all the tension building up because they're seeing this boat's been torn apart by this shark, and Brody's like, "Well, what are we supposed to do when you're gone?" Don't worry, it's no problem. I'll take care of it. And you're like, you're waiting for something bad to happen.
They must have lost their shit in the cinema when this happened.
Yeah, fucking just
it's
like, oh god,
Popcorn all over the place.
I remember seeing this in the cinema, and I mean, given the fact I was 7-year-old, I did jump and think,
definitely, yeah.
hell, what is that? There was a kid in the row in front of me with his dad, and he screamed for about 10 minutes and just now just sort of had a little giggle to myself.
It's like
awful
because it's twofold. Number one, you see the shark tooth. It's like this fucking big, and it's just an underwater. It's like obviously a proper, like it's like real,
and it's oversized as well. The teeth in the
yeah.
mechanical shark are deliberately oversized, so they have more teeth but smaller in real life.
Size of a shot glass.
Yeah, and very sadly he loses that tooth as well. This could be the one thing that could convince
he loses his breakfast as well.
The tooth he's got in his hand is not far off Megalodon size, so that's how much it's oversized.
Yeah,
the Megalodon's like 60-foot long sharks. So
yeah, and once again they're coming with
here comes one of the best lines.
They're coming up with every reason that they should close this bloody beach, but no, it's the 4th of July. We've got all the tourists coming in. We've got to get money, blah, blah, blah. And he's just not listening.
He's like open. This way, Brody says, he's like, open up the 4th of July. It's like ringing the dinner bells.
He is, and it's right. It's like...
yeah, absolutely.
And he is trying to be a bit more domineering towards him this time as well. He's trying to be more assertive, but the mayor's just not going for it. Even Hooper... He's really trying his best to reason with the mayor, but he's just beyond all reason.
It's a brilliant scene because you've got 3 characters there just screaming between themselves, but you still get the point, and you still sort of hear what's going on.
I like how Cooper's all scientific.
Yeah, and he tries to avoid the point as well. I mean, he's like the first thing he does to try and change the subject is try and get Brody to maybe settle this vandalism and.
The only thing the mayor's interested in is image. He's not interested in anything other than being portrayed.
Yeah, there's nothing genuine about him. He doesn't. All he cares about is his own image, greed, everything. Keeping himself real, keeping himself in charge of the town.
He's a politician. He's a politician. He's a politician. Yeah. Martin is the authority figure, and Hooper is the intellectual figure.
Mr. Luke, where it's like,
and also.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Sorry, mate. Please go ahead.
Oh no, just real quick. The way Cooper said, he's like, I think you keep ignoring the fact until it swims up and it bites you in the ass.
Yeah. All this machine does is swim, eat, and make little baby sharks.
But did they acknowledge that there are 2 dudes that are dead in the ocean? Like he's like, oh well, do you have the tooth? Oh well, you don't have the tooth. There's a headless man in the ocean.
And there's a dead kid too, dude.
Yeah, but like, oh, there's a boat just in the ocean. It's all torn up. They're not even acknowledging it.
That boat got hit by a propeller. The kid got hit by a propeller too. It's all coincidence.
It's like a hot fuzz where it's like, oh, an accident happened.
The thing is, like the mayor knows if he closes the beaches, he will not win the next election because of the damage done to the vendors in the town and everything like that.
Yeah.
So he's looking from that. He's blinkered. He's looking from that perspective. He's not looking at the worst case scenario. Well, for him, the worst case scenario is losing the revenue.
In the book, it's really quite. In the book, it's actually illustrated really quite explicitly about the finances of the town, about the economy of the town.
In the film, in the book, he's a macro.
I think World War just to jump out right now. So thank you, John.
Guys, I got head out though.
Another one, okay?
And congratulations.
Thanks for joining us, mate.
Congratulations, man. Okay.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
See you later, dude.
Yeah. Bye. Take care, Joe.
This is Jaws.
It's the mayor. It's kind of typical bureaucracy, and I think an awful lot of what he's doing is obviously, finding these little things about town vandalism to kind of deflect. He is as Al was saying, he's kind of almost deliberately blinkering himself, from the events of what, all these different events that are occurring. But it is a kind of typical sort of bureaucracy. But in the book, the whole property thing, there's a property slump on the island. There's an economy slump on the island. And they need this summer. This summer is the summer that they need to revive the island's fortunes because it's on the decline. But this adaptation is that good. We don't need all of that to illustrate any of this in the book. But he's great. I love this. Was it Murray? What's his name?
Murray
Hamilton. Yeah. Wonderful actor.
Yeah, I mean he's got a really good sort of sleazy look and the way he talks as well. And he is very charismatic as well. You can sort of see why people have voted him in. He has got a sort of way about him. He does have that kind of presence.
He's like that game show host, car salesman persona,
Yeah.
People over.
Oh yeah, definitely in that fucking blazer as well.
Yeah.
Got like an arrogant confidence, doesn't he? Like
yeah.
He can raise you up.
Yeah, brother's trying to get as much help as he can, and all fucking shark foods. They're all surrounded. They're all coming in now. They're all coming
delicious.
Yeah, and 1975. That's graphics on that are still better than most of the new games now. Christ,
like Star Wars Outlaws. Oh god.
Oh god. Yeah. God. What the fuck is that main character supposed to look like? I don't even know if that's a man or woman.
The worst thing is what the actual actress looks like.
Yeah, she's real pretty as well. She's really pretty.
Very, very pretty lady, and she's been made to look very, very mannish.
Yeah, they've been doing that with a lot. Get some really good looking actress and ugly father fuck out of her. It's really sad.
Yes. Femininity seems to be as much of a bad. There's Peter Benchley.
Benchley. He was a professional interviewer, wasn't he?
He was, yes, correct.
A TV guy, anyway.
Yeah, so he's basically playing like a version of himself as well, and adds a bit of authenticity as well.
And again, great framing of the scene. They could pull in closer on him, like you would expect, but no, you've got all these thronging crowds behind him, just showing, just setting up the tension, the suspense. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you know these people are fucked. One or two of these people are going to die. And the mate has allowed it to happen.
Well, it's a good line coming up. He's like, "Why aren't you in the water for?" I just put some
that's great. Get in the water. Nobody's in the water.
That's what's suntan lotion. I want to wash off, like get in the water.
It kind of shows how calculating he is as well. I mean, listen, he could have just had them all on the beach and still made the money, but no, he had to go that extra mile. He could have. He had to make things even worse. He did. He's kind of an unlikable arsehole, played by a very good actor.
He properly leans into his character, though, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's having fun. He's really playing this up, and God bless the man.
Get in the water now.
Very, very, very sleazy, very, yeah.
I know, if he's just left them alone on the beach, they still could have enjoyed themselves and made some money, but no, he had to go that extra mile, tell them to go in the water, and he causes a fucking shit show. He does.
It's such a small thing, but I love the performance. I don't know who he gets to go in the water, but his wife, the anxiety that's on her face all the way right there, all the way through is so good.
She is brilliant.
Like a tiny little role, but she really sells it.
Yeah, she knows something's up, but she's too agreeable to say no.
Well, I mean, it's the 70s. The man's kind of like got the dominant role in those days, really.
We need to bring those days back.
There you go, Babs.
There you go, look at that.
I love you, really, Babs. But thanks for coming. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Babs. All right, always welcome.
Yeah.
Go in the pond with all the old women.
His son where he thinks he'd be safe, and very much not safe. But all through this scene, all of this, you get no score. Yeah. There's no score at all. You don't get the dun 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 dun, so you know it's obviously once you've seen it the first time round, people maybe even didn't notice.
It's cool to see more POV shots underwater. People just their legs flopping.
Yeah. Oh. Hey there, I'm gonna eat that leg. I'm gonna eat that one too.
The funny part too, they don't know it yet. All these guys in boats with rifles. Okay, they got rifles, right? You don't understand the fact that this 25-foot beast, you wouldn't do shit against it.
Really wouldn't.
Yeah, no, because it kind of fucks up the bullet as well. The momentum of the bullet when it hits the water.
Not to mention the size of that. I mean, the size of that 25-foot, 5-ton shark. What do you think one of these rifles is going to actually stop that thing?
I know. Then the look on her face. I don't know who this actress is though, but she's only in it for a couple of minutes, but she sells it, man.
Good Lord. It's a shark. I tell you what, right? I've been watching this film on and off for like nearly 50 years. That sounds scary.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I never once noticed there's a guy comes in and he tells a kid to get off. He's in.
He bashes him off.
I've never noticed that before today. He just pushes the kid off the line or whatever. Get off! He jumps on it and swims away.
Well, the power of fear and panic, man. People will trample
every man out for himself.
Yeah, well, a little bit of humor as well. Then you get some dumb woman just standing there holding the kid instead of just like fucking running.
Like, Mum, get off me!
The thing is, it does. In one scene, it does show all those different aspects of human nature. You've got the people that are trying to get people out of the water.
You always get someone just freeze up, don't you? It's,
you've got people who freeze up. You've got people trampling other people. It's great. It's a very effective.
He's got this poor guy as well. Fucking hell.
He has heart attack.
And isn't that the guy who was told to go in the water in the first place by the mayor?
Yeah. That's why I get annoyed sometimes. Like nowadays people say horror films. This is back in 1975. Never underestimate the power of fear. When people are scared, they will freeze up. They will trip people. Like fear is a serious motivator, man. Like,
but any lesser director would have probably just had everyone just running out of the water. But like Al said, there's different states of fear. There's people freezing up. There's people pushing others over, pushing them out of the way. There's some helping other people.
So that's why they always say leave in a calm manner, otherwise you're going to end up injuring someone else, aren't you?
It makes it very, very realistic and identifiable. Because the difference is those people would be doing what you're thinking of.
The difference is these two kids, this would have been a fucking TikTok challenge.
Yeah. For sure.
Oh yeah.
He made me do it. It was his fault.
Yeah, it is funny though. It is funny. It's just
I love it when they look up and there's just all those guns.
But this is said. People say modern kids do stupid shit. No, kids have been doing stupid shit since the 70s and 60s and since whenever. Like this isn't
kids are assholes. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Come on. Exactly.
Kids were invented, I think.
Because it kind of just sort of highlights Spielberg's inner child a little bit as well, because he's very good at having. He's always doing films where the kid characters are always well written, especially with E.T. and Empire of the Sun.
Well, he's got a childlike viewpoint of the world as well in a lot of ways. Spielberg. I mean, I'm not sure about now, but
he always has to have a little bit of optimism to his films, even if it's really dark and bleak, like Schindler's List.
Yeah, exactly.
I would even say too that the thing is, older people like us, that if you have kids or you are a certain age, that we're too mature for this shit. If anybody was going to pull this prank, it would be a bunch of kids because they're not taking it seriously.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah, kids will do that shit though. They ourselves. It's just part of the nature of being a kid.
I mean, even teenagers would do that kind of shit these days for kicks and giggles. Definitely, it doesn't have to be. These are very young kids, but they could have easily been.
I think nowadays they would have been riddled with bullets.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I remember being a kid in middle school. I remember like in wintertime, I kept me and my friends throwing snowballs against cars. I'm like, it's all funny. Now I'm just like, if I'm hit with a fucking snowball in a car, I'm gonna run your little ass over. Like, wait, hold on. I was doing that shit myself. Damn it.
Yeah, too old and grumpy for that shit these days.
Would you put it in reverse though, Blue?
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course.
Do the job properly. Fuck you, asshole.
I mean, if I'm going to prison for manslaughter, man, make it count.
Might as well get a good room.
Just spin the wheels a bit.
Fucking penthouse.
Do some donuts. If you're going down anyway, you may as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the shark comes into the fucking pond like you wouldn't think as well, and
it's for old ladies.
Yeah.
This is where the fucking this is where this guy gets eaten, and once again, you get a pretty brutal death. You don't see.
In the film, it was a lot more brutal. Oh, sorry, they filmed one that was a lot more brutal, and Spielberg took it out because it was too bloody.
Fucking horrible.
Well, I'll say, Luke, it's 1 hour and 2 minutes in, so we finally see for the first time out of an hour and 2 minutes, and we finally see like the mouth of the shark.
Yeah.
But after a full hour, we don't see the full shark, but like we finally see the first image of the shark.
Yeah.
For the first time.
And in the original, he gets in the mouth of the shark, and it's heading for the boy, and he sacrifices himself for the boy.
Oh yeah.
Which obviously explains why the kid goes into shock so much.
Yeah. And
Spielberg took it out. He was just like, no, it's just too much.
Just the leg is just effective. Yeah. And Michael's
that kid
he survives the whole thing. It's just
that kid would have shit his pants right there. Like,
oh yeah, he's fucking shit. Thank God he was in the pond.
Oh, we missed it. Yeah, but then of course, we see the first that comes out of the water. We see the first head of the shark for the first time. Yeah. It does pop out of the water, so we see the image of it.
And it's only then really you're going to get an idea of the size of the shark as well, because up until then you've seen very, very little.
And plus, almost like the first real gore, because we've seen like the more autopsy, but the guy's leg, his leg is just on the ground, on the bottom of the ocean, dangling like chunks of it and shit. Like a good makeup job, man.
Yummy.
It was that was considered to be a quite sort of big error, wasn't it? Because the guy's leg's supposed to have been bitten off, but of course his leg kind of drops to the bottom of the pond.
I mean, it depends how the shark takes you, really, doesn't it? If it takes you in midsection, it's gonna take that leg off easily. It depends. I mean, that shark is so much bigger than anything that's bitten people.
Yeah, I mean that was an insert. I think that was just something that was insisted on, some kind of insert. I'm not sure whether Spielberg actually really wanted to put that insert in, but
yeah, but like I said, nice still look right there. So now it's like he's got that look of like because
the look on his face as well.
Oh, this is the moment. This is the moment.
Yeah, because his kid almost got fucking eaten, man. Like a lot.
This is the moment that he basically becomes the hero. He now goes to the mayor and he now goes, "This is what's fucking happening."
And the cool part means that we're watching it, we're dissecting this film as YouTubers, but like I said, we are an hour and 4 minutes in, so now it's like this is the like Alien, the build up. And,
exactly.
So much. We've gotten so much. Like this is almost a full movie in itself. We still have another hour to go.
And I don't think this film's as effective if you've seen the shark all the way through.
Yeah.
I don't think the moment that happens in the ship it wouldn't mean anything. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
And as you say, we've still got a hell of a lot of film to go. And it is almost a different film now. It's almost a different film.
It is, I think, to be honest, I think the second half is when it really becomes at its best as well. And I love the first half. I love the build-up. I love the getting to know the characters. But it's the second half where the film really kicks off for me.
We've had another inciting incident, and Brody's like, "Fuck you! This is how it's going to go."
I know he grows some fucking balls, doesn't he? He actually, even the mayor's not as cocky. Even the mayor's not as cocky and smug this time.
But he's still clinging on here. He's still clinging on to what he can save and like
he's trying to sell this fucking scrap, isn't he? That's what he's trying to do.
He's a politician.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah.
But I think he kind of shows he just showed that kind of slight glimmer of humanity when he says, "Martin, my kids were on that beach too."
Yeah.
So you kind of get a kind of slight glimmer of humanity.
Well, everyone knows it too, man. It's one thing to hear about like a kid dying, but then when your kid's in danger, now it's real.
Yeah.
And now it's serious because it's my kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
And it's kind of a shame his character devolves back to the same asshole in the second one after because like you said, this kind of humanizes him a tiny bit. He's a bit more vulnerable. He's not as cocky and full of himself now, and he's shaking, he's rattling. He can't get his words straight.
You could interpret that line a totally different way, though, as well. He said, "My kids were on that beach," but he fucking put them on that beach. He put his kids in harm's way for the sake of making a quick buck out of the summer.
Small things you guys 975. Don't you like the fact that guys are smoking cigarettes in a hospital?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
well, we still do it.
That's what I like to see.
Northeast, so.
Because guys, the wife is giving birth to their kid, like guy's got a cigarette and stuff too. Why his wife's pushing down the kid?
Just shove one in the kid's mouth as it comes out. That's what happens in Newcastle.
Very soon over here, you won't be able to smoke at all.
Yeah.
So
Not that I actually smoke anymore, but yeah.
So this thing. So Quint's been gone for like what 45 minutes.
Yep.
You haven't seen him for almost a man. Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, and,
I love that cut scene.
Yes,
I don't know whether you
Mr. E.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry. I wouldn't eat anything that shit itself. Well,
industry. Those were the days.
Sorry, carry on.
Quint's fucking pad is awesome. Look at that.
See Cooper, he's all like in awe, like, oh my god, this is all right, man. This guy's a badass. Here's a
pro as well. You just got to love Quint, man. Here's
a swimming to bow-legged women. My god, you legend.
But you could run a fucking tractor on that stuff as well.
Yeah, yeah. He just turns around to Hooper and just goes,
"Oh, trust me, this stuff here, like this, I'm a pussy compared to Quint. That's a real man. That's pure gasoline he's drinking."
I didn't bother with the Japanese in the end. I'm instead drinking the Freud, which is a good single malt.
Is it a 12-year-old?
It's not. It's the 10. Sadly, I couldn't afford.
Oh.
It's like the fact Quint's like this, and you see Brody's just like.
It's like a bottle of Lagavulin 16 these days. It's like 75, 80 quid. What?
Brody don't drink half that. Quint just like.
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, he's got the stomach for
cornflakes.
That's a man who's gonna live long.
Yeah, he's old school, Quint. No, he's fucking old school. I love him for it.
Fucking
legend. Yeah, it's obviously they got to go. They're going for Quint now to get the shot because this is going on too far now, and he obviously seems like a guy who knows what he's doing. And obviously they have Matt Hooper there because he is a very competent sailor. He knows his sharks, everything, and he's obviously going to be a useful asset as well. But Quint, he does not see that. He just sees him as this other fucking college boy who's never really fully lived a life outside his little lab. And yeah, and even when he gives him a rope to tie, and he ties it, it looks like he's done it very competently as well. Quint never looks at it to check if he has done it properly.
Not for 1 second. Well, the thing is, the only reason Quint's doing this is because this is set up and payoff because later he gets him to tie the rope onto the barrels for when Quint's going to harpoon the white. So he just wants to know that he can tie a knot. He doesn't need to look at it. He's like, yeah, it's done.
No. I like that. Yeah, there is. Give me your hands.
I don't think that a sheep shank is used for tying the barrels, though.
It's a boat line, isn't it? Was it a sheep shank or a bow line?
It was a sheep shank.
Ah, okay, yeah, maybe not then. Because I know later on it's a bow line.
Good line though. We all been around like blue collar workers. Like you got city hands, boy. Like oh shit,
you count money all your life.
You've been counting money all your life.
Yeah. It is.
I don't need this. I don't need this working class hero crap.
It is though. But guys that are raised on a farm versus guys that spend all day in the office, your hands are built a different way, man.
Yep, totally. Yeah, I mean, like seamen, sailors rather.
Seamen on your pokedeck.
They do have completely different hands because they're roughened from.
No,
I mean even me, I play some metal guitar and stuff. My finger pads because of the strings are tougher than most people's. So,
you get some callus to it because it does cut through your fingers. I play a little bit guitar as well, so I know the pain.
It's a cliche. My brother-in-law, he worked on a farm for a summer. He goes, Chris, and one thing, man, that whole thing, it's called farmer strength. He goes, yeah, trust me, a 60-year-old man who's a farmer, that man's built a different way.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
I've got calluses on my hands, but it's because I masturbate 4 times a day. So I'd share that with the audience.
And you monetize
with sandpaper.
He's great.
Feels like a shark skin. We know the truth. You've got all the memorabilia. Right,
so you've actually got Siemens hands.
The single malt might be kicking in now.
I haven't had any yet. I might go and get my Johnny.
I'm just a drunk friend.
Semen, sperm whales and semen.
Semen stains. Roger the cabin boy.
So
obviously. Yeah, so Quint is obviously agreeing to it though. But if you're going to be on here, you do everything I say. It's my boat, my charter. I'm the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they're getting ready to set off, and I love how he's just fucking lambasting all these guys like they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's
kind of cool the fact that Cooper's bringing some at the time period modern technology to Cooper's old school, because the whole fence and shark tank, whatever, shark cage, that's not Cooper's or not Quint's arsenal, but yeah, it works.
The funny thing is, in this, the animosity is between Hooper and Quint, whereas in the book, the animosity is between Brody and Hooper, because Hooper's been fucking Brody's wife.
Fits in right there. Yep. Cage goes in the water. You go in the water. Sharks in the water.
Our shark.
Yep.
Farewell and adieu to your fair Spanish.
I love the limerick he comes up with. Apparently, he got that off a gravestone in Ireland.
Here lies the body of Elizabeth Lee. She died at the age of 103. For 15 years, she kept
it. Never more shall we see you again. The shanties,
man.
Man.
Record for that vicinity.
Dude,
I love Richard Dreyfuss. I love Dreyfuss's face here as well when he sings.
They had to be having so much fun, man. Come on.
Yeah, when Robert Shaw wasn't drunk and giving Dreyfuss shit though. But apparently, yeah, like you said before,
I like the way they use.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, because apparently Shaw did try and make amends with Dreyfuss later, and they agreed, and he asked him if he would play the fool to his King Lear one day, and Dreyfuss was like, "Once I become as great as actor as you, then maybe I will." But sadly, that never happened because Robert Shaw died in the late 70s, the early 80s. I can't remember now, but
3 years.
It was around about the time they did the drinking scene. Ironically enough, which just shows how men bond. You know, men just bond in a very different way to what.
Yeah, and it's
people
you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is a great scene that sort of loosens up the animosity as well, because they're not fighting, are they? They're actually having a laugh with each other.
Well, this is the thing that happens. Like some dudes just, you need to fight and get that testosterone up and kind of out your system, get the measure of a man before you can respect him. That's what happens. And people say that's toxic. Toxic. It's not fucking toxic. It's just the way. It's the way that men work. It's as simple as that.
I was just going to mention the oxygen tank bit. I mean, that's the when he mentions about the oxygen tank, that's the kind of Chekhov's gun, really.
Yeah.
All the good fights, all the important ones. Shocking.
Yeah.
There is plenty of setup. It's like you mess with these things, they explode. And it's like, I don't know what you're doing with that. I mean, the shark could eat it, and it pays off. It pays off. It's a good little.
And it comes up again later as well. There's another scene with the canisters where they nearly escape. So
the quite old school. Goddamn women can't handle men today, and young girls ain't smart. See that in 2024.
Quint is refreshingly old school.
I found the shark. I had the shark.
If this was remade, can you imagine how bad this would be if it was remade? I just
notice the composition here. Sorry to interrupt. You've got Quint in between the Brodies, so he's come between that family.
Yeah. It's cool. The very last image we see before they head out is a big shark. The shark.
It goes through the shark jaws. Yeah, very cool.
Exactly.
Very cool. Into the jaws of death.
Yeah. Hey. Bill Butler. Hats off to Bill Butler, the cinematographer.
It's like,
there we go. That nice shot.
What we see.
Some great work.
It's like they're entering the jaws of death.
Yeah, because the rest of the film is these guys on a boat.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole film. Yeah, you don't go back to the island at all.
Yeah, you're right. Nice.
Yeah, Shaw was a fucking legend.
Yeah, we still have 40 minutes to go on this movie, and they spent 40 minutes on a fucking boat. Like that's iconic, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the fact that it's called the orca as well, because orcas are like the only predator to get a shark, apparently.
Yeah, totally. They are the top of the food chain, not a shark.
Yeah. And the one thing the shark doesn't come up straight away. There's still a little build up on the boat as well, because once again you're just waiting for that shark to come up.
Well, you see, what this is what they used to call character development, and Hollywood kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
And that's a constant trope. I wouldn't say constant trope, but like also Quinn, like he's looking at Cooper. It's like, oh yeah, you're all about science, technology. Quinn's like more salt of the earth. He's more instinct. He doesn't care about fancy sonar and modern technology. He wants to feel it.
Well, yeah, you always need that contrast, don't you? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like Tremors with Fred Ward's character. He plans ahead, doesn't he? And he's always trying to be a bit more strategic. And while Kevin Bacon's a little bit more young and brash and lives in the moment, and they're both kind of dumbasses, but they're still very likable characters who
Wait, he said
bounce off well of each other.
He said toothbrushes. Toothbrushes.
But again, you've got the great character dynamics here where Quint doesn't respect Hooper, but he does respect, and he's trying to teach. But he's being nice to Brody. You know what I mean? He teaches him how to tie a knot.
Yeah.
Teach him how to do that. Teach him how to do that. But he's completely different with Hooper. So he sees Hooper encroaching on his old ways with all his technology and scientific knowledge.
It's the old versus new.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also I think also there's this kind of dichotomy between the two characters, because you have one who is interested in the preservation of marine wildlife, and the other one who is purely out there to hunt these things, to kill these things.
Exactly.
So
he's an old broken down former soldier, isn't he? Who's lives for the sea now.
It's like that. He just crushes the fucking can.
Yeah,
and
he just crushes the fucking
brilliant, just brilliant.
Fucking paper.
Me and my dad used to laugh our asses off at this scene because, God.
But that dynamic between the two of them is timeless, because it's sort of old school versus new school. Modern.
Quint's like the alpha male, isn't he? While
you've got the character dynamic on the boat, and it's going to change as the rest of the film plays out, which is it's brilliant character development work. It really is. Exactly. I don't even know if Hollywood's capable of this anymore.
No.
That shows Cooper. Cooper starts off as being like a college boy and a bookworm, and he earns his fucking stripes.
Yep.
Yeah, and the thing is,
definitely,
Brody is the most underskilled hero out of them all. I mean, he's really out of his element compared to these two. And
actually, he's scared of water in the middle of a fucking boat in the middle of the ocean.
He's still prepared to have a go, isn't he?
I mean, regardless of what Quint said, Quint's the captain, Hooper's the first mate, and Brody's the cabin boy.
Yeah, and like I said, he's more forgiving towards Brody, despite the fact he's the less skilled out of them all, because he is more seasoned in his own way, just not with this area.
Yeah, it's almost like like
common people were all about the seamen.
The new kid on the block. This is going to be the next generation that takes my job, kind of thing.
Yeah, and obviously he's teaching Brody how to tie a knot as well, and plus. We've already had the
if you can find the man in the boat, you'll make your woman happy every time.
Had tying that boy.
Yeah, I tried doing this. I fucked it up. I need to relearn these knot tying.
So, is he eating crackers? It's something about he just snaps it off.
Is he eating like these little fish crackers or something like that?
He's doing it in the room when he was talking about how much money he got from them.
Yeah,
Jacob's cream cracker.
It's the way he just snaps it off
with no cheese.
He eats crackers like a fucking badass as well. He does.
How do you eat food like a beast?
Never thought I'd hear that sentence in my life.
It's like what's his name, Denethor in Return of the King, when he's munching on that fucking tomato.
Yeah, and it's just
like a beast.
One thing. I'm no expert fisherman. The fact that he puts the fucking straps on, like, whoa, hold up.
He knows what's up. It's so subtle, and the tension's there because he just slowly starts doing these things without anybody noticing, and you've just got this tick.
And the whole thing too, he puts a strap in. He puts both his feet on the on a foot wheel. Like he's ready to go. It's like,
he knows what's coming up.
Yeah,
he knows it's not bluegills or Tommy Cods.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Hooper just tries to sort of to think it might not be a shark, it could be a stingray or dolphin, whatever. But and this is why he really needs him as well here to
with the reel.
Yeah, and he's testing it. It's like he's testing the shark a little bit here as well. And now
totally. There's a battle of wills going on here.
It was a small detail, but the fact that he yells out to Brody, "Wet the wheel," and he actually fucking wet the wheel. He puts water on the line because the line's gonna overheat.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, just small things like that. Like that's small details I enjoy.
And plus, it all fucks up in a way, and Quint gives him shit as well. It's like, "You city boys, all the education, you never learn when to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how he's like real fucking childish here as well, because
And then he's still chuntering away as he climbs up the ladders.
Yeah, Jim, I don't think this abuse much longer.
Yeah, he's pissed off because he can't really fucking. He's not. You can tell he's not really much of a fighter, and Quint probably is. Quint could probably kick his ass in a fight. So yeah, he's gonna.
Oh, not a question.
Yeah, he's gonna just throw a bit of sarcasm his fucking way because he has to unload a little bit on this guy.
Still, but even like the way Quint is taking the fucking the oar, I mean the fishing pole, and going back like this, and just like, but also like Robert Shaw, the look on his face, like he knows something's up. This isn't like a normal shark.
Yeah, they both start out underestimating the shark big time, and it slowly dawns on them. And it's not until they actually see the shark, and Hooper's like, "That's 20 foot," and then Quint's like 25.
He's a smart big fish. Plus, it also makes it more terrifying because this isn't just a stupid shark. This is actually an intelligent shark. I mean, in contrast for the storyline.
Yeah, that's to unload this guy. It's
gay representation back in 1975.
Yeah, that came out wrong. Oh wait, that came out wrong too. Shit.
I was gonna say now Hooper's playing with himself on deck.
Yeah,
on the poop deck.
Yeah, free semen on a poop deck.
Check that shot out though, Luke. Go back a couple. The shot looking up at Quint, who's kind of in silhouette.
Yeah, so it's going back on it then. Just getting back on the screenshots. Here we go.
Just like there's a shot looking down. Yeah, look at that, man.
Ah, great, man.
Ominous. You know who's in charge, don't you?
Yeah, there is a mystery. There is a fucking mystery to him a little bit as well.
And it's a great place to unload on a guy as well.
Yeah, yeah, shower of fucking sperm all over Brody's head.
Semen.
Yeah. Sperm where's the semen? Yeah, so now Brody's getting out all the chum, and yeah, this is where it fucking just pops out.
Such a great scene, man. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
And I love the fact the line's improvised as well. So
really?
Good. Yeah, you're going to need a bigger boat. Was made
Holy shit, man! Like
yeah, they actually did shoot some extra shots as well to extend the scene out because test audiences thought the line came too quick, so you wanted to build it up a little bit more. So
it's the money shot.
The way he jumps as well. When you
the thing is, like, you're going to need a bigger boat. It's not just a line in a film. It's become part of a lexicon for underestimating something. It's actually entered our vocabulary.
Actually, I can tell you guys, my friend Carlton brought my son to his house 2 weeks ago to New Hampshire. He spent 6 years in the Coast Guard. He said, Chris, one point we've seen a shark that was actually bigger than our boat. And the first thing he said, he looks at his friends, he goes, his line, he said, we're gonna need a bigger boat. And he's in Boston. He goes, he's a Chris, it's the biggest fucking fish I've ever seen in my life. He goes, we're gonna need a bigger boat. And I'm like,
I was once a seaman. Now it's just something I leave all over my wife's ass. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the shark is like fucking 25 feet, and apparently that's not usual, is it?
It's the upper end of how big a shark is recorded. But
yeah, you mentioned as well.
It's not totally out of the realms of possibility.
No, 20 foot. But that shark there was 26 feet long in actuality.
Yeah. The teeth were slightly oversized and everything, but there are big sharks out there.
You see that swim by in the cinema.
Deep blue is 20 to 21 foot long.
Which you see that shark swim by in the cinema, and it doesn't look like a model. No. Like I was totally convinced every time I saw that thing.
And I'll say, yeah.
The thing is, these days they do it with CG, and I guarantee it look more fake.
Look at your timestamp, Luke. I mean, we got like what, an hour? So an hour 21, we finally see the shark head for the first time, and 122, the full body of this fucking beast. And this is not almost 90 minutes into the film. We're finally seeing this thing.
And even now, Quint still thinks he can take it. It's turning into his Ahab. Ahab now, but he still thinks he can take it. It's not until it goes down with 3 barrels in it that he goes, no, I can't. This is something that's beyond me.
Yeah.
3 barrels should have kept him up, but no, it's not going to happen.
It's funny you mention Ahab. Actually, there was you obviously know about the scene that never actually made it into the movie.
in the cinema.
Yeah, where he's
Like,
watching
like,
Moby Dick and
performance.
he's laughing at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would have been amazing if they'd done that, if they'd managed to pull that off. But obviously,
Yeah.
Gregory Peck
owned the rights.
Yeah,
Didn't he?
Gregory Peck. He refused it, not because he thought it was taking a piss out of the movie. It was because he actually hated his own performance in that movie. And he didn't.
Yeah.
He was hoping no one would ever see it again.
Vernacular. That's the word, R.S.M. Thank you.
Yeah. So obviously they're trying to get the barrels on the shark to keep it from going under. So keep it.
When he wants Brody in the shot for scale, because nobody will believe him about how big the shark is.
Yeah.
Brody's just like, fuck off. No, that's not happening.
And I mentioned
and Brody's wife is calling them as well, and he's saying, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. Everything's totally cool.
That shows the power of this thing too, because these barrels, these are pretty. Having a barrel full of air and pulling it under is not an easy feat.
Because I also kind of assumed as well they're sort of using it as well to know where the shark is. That's why they got these lights flashing, little sonar things. But he was hoping he could try and get a clean shot in the head as well, but because Hooper doesn't tie it in time, he misses it. But thankfully, they get the barrel on him.
Yeah.
And again, you get this jaunty little chase music here.
Yeah.
As barrel goes off, it's great.
It's what we mentioned before.
Very lighthearted.
Triumphant little fanfare.
Yeah, John Williams' score right now is fantastic.
Yeah, so good.
Beautiful.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It does almost give a little bit of an adventure.
Adventure. Yeah, that's what it's got to.
Even though it's like even though they're not exactly going nowhere, they're just staying in one spot trying to catch one creature. And Brody's obviously saying we need to. We could maybe get a bigger boat from. Get some help, a bigger boat. And Quint's just not fucking having it.
Go to the boat shop.
Yeah. The sea shanty scene. I love this. Everyone loves this scene. It's so iconic, and for once, Quint and Hooper are arguing. They are at each other's throats. They're actually connecting this time as well. They're all drunk. That's
because they're drunk. That's why.
Yep.
Yeah, they're showing all the scars they got from the little editions. Everything. It's such a great scene.
Show me your scars.
Yeah.
So
he's pyramid. He pulls his little tooth cap out.
He pulled out his teeth. It's a man.
Yeah, it's a very funny scene, and they feel like real guys as well, just connecting. Two guys that did not get along but are getting along. It's very endearing.
Definitely. You'll come to America, we hang out, man. Just punch me in the face. We're two of us are gonna bond.
Yeah, they're just showing, just comparing scars as well. Look at this scar. I got it from this asshole here. Well, I got this scar, and I got it from this asshole.
Like in that film, the bike riders, I think it was.
Yeah.
Two bike gangs that just have that massive brawl.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, like, you want to come over to the barbecue kind of thing. It's just,
you want to come back to my place?
It's kind of what dudes do.
It's a bull shark. Yeah.
To our legs.
This is a beauty.
Comparing scars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ariel and Moffat. She broke my heart.
And I'm pretty sure they are both drunk.
He checked out his
reckon.
Yeah.
If not, it's
obviously Robert Shaw was though. I mean, he was really fucking drunk, and God bless him.
Goddamn right.
He was dodging the IRS every other day because he was outside of his work visa. Because the film was supposed to wrap up on June 21st, his visa ran out on June 26th. And didn't finish filming the fucker till September.
Yeah.
So it was. He had the IRS chasing him.
Christmas as well, wasn't it? But they decided because they went so over schedule, they had to release it in the summer the next year.
Plus, for like 2 months, and it went on for 165 days or something like that.
The shark just wouldn't work.
And look at the whole tonal shift because he's like, "Hey, what's a tattoo?" Is let me guess, mother. So it's laughing.
Yeah, I love it.
Then it go at a pure 180.
Oh
now,
man, it
drops shot so tight as well.
Within like 2 seconds, you see Robert Shaw's acting just now get serious.
Oh, it's so good. It's
like,
so good.
What I think is quite amazing about this scene is that obviously the first day they did it, Robert Shaw said do you mind if I just take a few drinks while I'm doing this? So they took, so he had some drinks doing it. They shot it, and they said that possibly most of it was unusable. Then he came back the following day and said, how drunk was I? Was I really that bad? Did I embarrass myself? And he said, but anyway, we're going to shoot the scene again. So they shot the scene again. However, they intercut the stuff that they did when he was sober to the stuff that they did when he was drunk the previous
Holy
day.
shit, really? Because I cannot tell the difference.
And you can, and he said you cannot tell. He said Spielberg said even I can't tell which days were from the drunk days and which days were from the sober days. He said he acted that well. He said it was just amazing.
Because I would have thought that was an entirely separate take.
Yeah.
I had no idea they intercut footage. That's crazy.
Yeah, from the first and the second day of shooting that scene. Amazing.
What a master of his craft. That is something else, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
Robert Shaw he rewrote that whole speech, didn't he?
He did,
he gave it to Howard Sackler, and he produced like 2 paragraphs and handed it over to John Milius, and he wrote fucking 10 pages. And Robert Shaw said, I can't do 10 pages. Give it a, and I think he did something like 2 pages long and delivered the speech.
I know it sucks, dude. We can't show this scene, but man, if anybody can YouTube just this 2-minute scene alone is fucking like
I did get every slide shot of every dialogue I could get from it as well.
Possibly, but even like audio, his audio performance, man.
It's one of the all time. It's one of the all time scenes, all time monologues.
Al's right.
It just goes deeper into the mind of this guy as well, and how
you see everything, man. You see everything.
Everything's laid out, and Dreyfuss isn't even acting there. He's admitted it himself. He said when you watching other actors doing speeches, he says you kind of act and you pretend that you're sort of interested in what they're saying. He said he couldn't take his eyes off Robert Shaw during the entire performance. He says he was mesmerized.
That's why I know with some people, not a big tangent, but like people say, "Oh, acting's easy." Fuck that, man. Like, listen, the 5 of us could never what this guy just did.
I think acting in a way that you get it in a lot of basic Hollywood films these days can be quite easy. But to portray, to convey like he does with minimal movement, with minimal emotion, and to make you feel what he's feeling, that is a craft that is beyond standard Hollywood.
What I think is absolutely stunning about this, when he's delivering this dialogue, the amount of times that he gives these little grins. Those little grins. Almost as if it's nothing, that is just kind of telling a little tale, and it's it just happens to be part of him.
It's like a grin he's using to cover up the fact that it's haunted him for years.
Yeah.
It is
whoever this guy, whoever Quinn was in the past, I mean, that instant has changed him forever, and he really brings it out in his performance here.
That's moving on, Luke. So, did he win any awards for this performance?
I was just thinking that. No. Did he win any awards?
No.
I should have done that,
man.
Should have got something for supporting actor. For sure.
Yeah, not even nominated. Sure. I don't even think he was nominated.
Just delivered the bomb, the Hiroshima bomb.
It's a way Adam Gray just said. He's like, basic acting is easy. Great acting is transcendental.
And there's not many actors that can do it.
We'll talk about later, you guys. That's what we said, man. The fact that, guys, this is 2024 and we're still talking about this man's performance.
Yeah,
that's it, man.
14
years later. To be a remake, I would hate to think how this scene would go, how they would do it. They'd overplay it with really dramatic, mournful music, trying to manipulate the audience in all sorts of ways. Might start crying or something like that.
Plus he's probably gay too. So
that's
but I wouldn't, if they ever did, at any point in time, the first question that I would ask would be, why? Why would you have to? Why would you need to remake something like this?
Same reason they do it all the time. They're going to do Fight Club, aren't they?
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
they're going to do Fight Club with women.
Leave it.
Women.
Christ,
Why?
yeah.
Just why?
Women
First-
women are
First
great
of all,
pluggers.
about Fight Club is you don't. First of all, about Women's Fight Club is you don't talk about Women's Fight Club. You just say fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke, I'm glad you got these stills for this scene, man. Oh,
I know.
God,
It's mind blowing.
It was a secret mission as well, so no distress signal was sent. There was in there for days as well, floating on the water with men any men that were survived were getting eaten by fucking sharks, and his the images of his
in the actual event. I mean, it is slightly dramatized because in the actual Indianapolis sinking, the sharks would only eat the dead. Because those that are still alive, well, you can scare a shark off without too many problems by splashing about. Certainly, the kinds of sharks that they would encounter there, which would be somewhat smaller. But the dead, as people died, either from their wounds or from hypothermia or whatever, the sharks would move in and eat those bodies.
There's a fantastic interview with some
pounding
of the
and
veterans.
screaming.
There's a wonderful interview with. There is a. There's a wonderful interview with some of the veterans that speak about it. So obviously it's quite a few years old, and they said that this scene really highlighted their plight because nobody really knew about it. No one knew anything about it because it was, a lot of the papers weren't released at the time, or they'd just been released, and so people kind of knew little bits and pieces about it, but these guys actually told the story, and they said that it was pretty much how it was explained in that monologue. They said that we would be, they were there for 5 days and 5 nights.
Yeah.
The days were scorching hot. The nights were freezing cold, and they had their life preservers on. And these sharks were just swimming around them, constantly swimming around them. And every now and again, you would see one of the guys would get taken, and they would find the remains, in the morning of some of their friends, just sort of floating around.
Yeah.
Now, you can't imagine. You cannot imagine what that's like, can you?
It must be.
Live through that.
Oh my God! I mean, I was actually talking to one of my boys actually last night about it. And I said that it has to be the most terrifying death that you could conceivably imagine.
Definitely.
I mean, we can imagine what it must be like to finish our days in certain violent ways. But this is probably, certainly in my opinion, the worst kind of demise that any human being could possibly experience. Absolutely to the nth degree.
I mean, it would inflict levels of PSTD that you just, how?
Yeah.
How do you get over that? And you see the way that Quint has got over this by going out on the ocean, facing his fear and killing sharks.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's one thing that's like, okay, being on land, right? Say a bear is chasing you. You may have some aspect, maybe I can climb a tree, maybe I can run away. But like being in water, there's nowhere to fucking go.
You're done. It's pot luck at that time. And as he said, the bit he was really scared at was at the end when they were rescued.
And then top of being an audience member, who's he telling the story to, right? He's not even looking at Cooper. He's looking at Brody. The guy who's scared of water. He's telling the ultimate. He's telling the ultimate fucking horror story to the guy who's terrified of the ocean.
He's talking about how he bumped into one of his old friends, and it turns out he was already dead. He was like the top half had already been.
But it's the look in his eyes. Look at that. You cannot do that unless you're a great actor. You just can't do it. It's so good. It's such a good scene.
As a footnote, my brother actually he worked on a film about the Indianapolis, about this incident. I've not seen it, but yeah, it was all shot over here. But that was a few years ago.
Said 6 an hour. Imagine losing 6 men per every fucking hour. That's terrifying.
Yeah. And he was like still waiting for his turn. He was expecting himself to fucking go any minute.
Yeah, arguably the best scene in the film.
Yeah.
300 died on the Indianapolis. Like he says, over 1,000 went into the water, and only 300 came out.
I think it was 316. I think.
Excuse me. June 29th, 1945. Anyway, we delivered the bomb. Then he does that smile as well.
Yeah, delivered the bomb.
Yeah. The exact numbers were 1,100, 316.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
moly.
Obviously, Matt Hooper's like, okay, he's been a Debbie Downer. Let's start singing.
Exactly.
It's still slightly better than the Hood, though. The
Yeah.
Hood, blown up by the Bismarck, only 3 men survived.
It's a whale.
My granddad knew one of them.
It's such a haunting. I mean, you could have easily had like another scene that was a flashback, but no, you needed an
That's
actor
what
to do
modern
this.
Hollywood would do. Modern Hollywood would absolutely deliver that as a
I
flashback.
love this scene.
Right, and I'm all for showing them, not telling, but
Yeah, I don't
sometimes,
wanna kill it.
occasionally, you just need a good actor and a well-written piece of dialogue, and that's it.
But that's it. I mean, as Blue Collar said, this entire part of the film is nothing but 3 dudes on a boat. There's not a woman in sight. There's
With
not
with alcohol.
Nothing. With alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
The greatest mixture on earth.
Cheers. I'm not even mixing mine. I'm not going to mix a single malt. Blends is okay.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
mix blends, but not
It
a
has
single
to be.
malt.
Yeah, it has to be neat. Maybe a little bit of water to space out the malt, and that's about it.
Yeah, maybe a tiny little. I can't be asked, to be honest, but yeah, maybe a tiny bit of lukewarm water.
It's blended. It's from Scotland. I don't give a fuck.
The whole scene here reminds me of Mad Max Thunderdome. Can you remember that one?
Wow.
I've not
Yeah.
I do not remember a shark in a boat in Mad Max.
No, can you
I might
remember
not
the,
have seen it properly.
you don't remember the bit when they said two men enter, 1 man leave?
I see.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, yeah. The bits in
1,100 men
Bartown are the
enter,
best.
300 men leave.
Yeah, the bits in Bartown was at the best. As soon as it went to the kids, it was like moving over. But yeah, I was wrong. It's not Hooper that.
Mad Max on Thunderdome, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, but I was wrong. It's not
It's
Hooper
really
that,
not that great a film. I mean, Tina Turner, Christ.
Yeah, Tina Turner's great in it. Yeah, it's a weak film.
1,100
Just
men
quickly,
enter, 300
if
men
I
leave.
if I may just quickly sort of interject here, as a reminder for anyone that happens to be watching, that on Sunday on the Outcast Creators channel, myself and Lance will be talking about all things post-apocalyptic, dated from 1982 to 1992. So it's all post-apocalyptic, kind of Mad Max rip-offs.
Oh, yes,
so,
please.
yeah, so we're doing that on Sunday at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I need to ask you what you're promoting when it gets to the end of the show. So,
Oh, apologies.
Spoilers.
he
We'll
broke
get
the
to that
pattern.
later. We will get to that
Spoiler
later, but in the meantime, let's try and get through the rest of the movie. And yeah, I was wrong. It's not Matt Hooper that lightens the mood. It's Quint himself, because he's obviously said he's obviously told this real dark story, and he obviously wants to get the mood back as well. So yeah, and it's a really good song as well. You just want to sing along with these guys, and
Let's face it, anything is going to be an uplifting moment after that.
Yeah. But then the
and
shark
it's
comes to
not.
spoil the fun. He does.
Yeah, it's uplifting, and then it's not.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, it's their laxity that allows this to happen, isn't it? You know, the fact that
Yeah, and I love how he just decides to shoot the fucker as well for fucking up his boat. It's,
Like, what a great song, though.
it is, yeah.
Show me the way to go home.
I'm not joining in.
anyone else?
I'm not having that single malt yet.
I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago. It's got right through my head.
Wherever I may roam, on land or sea or foam.
Rome.
But yeah, the boat's all fucked
drunk
up now
enough.
as well, and some of the salt water's gone into the fuel, and it's it's a big mess. It really is. So, and that's where the danger really starts to crank up as well, because the shark's just taking the ship, the boat apart.
Yeah. Man, poor Quint. He's sobered up pretty quick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and he's brother's trying to call for help, and Quint's just fucked it up now because no, I'm not having this though. I'm going to catch that shark myself.
Personal. It's personal. It's a challenge. It is his nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's his Moby Dick, like mentioned earlier.
It's his white whale.
But it's like I think they've just got the second barrel in now, haven't they? And it's not doing anything. It's the shark still keeps coming up. It's like it's just this very unstoppable machine. It just will not quit.
Oh yeah, these guys got pistols and rifles. It's not doing shit to it. I mean, they're damaging it, but like it's It's like,
and this is where Quint starts to realize he's in over his head a little bit as well.
It's the third battle barrel. He says he can't. He can't go down with 3, and then he does, and he says, "Have you ever seen anything like this?" And he's like, "No."
Yeah.
And then Quint
lead him to shore.
Mad, basically.
Yeah. The trouble is though, is that he's going to fuck up the boat as well because sail out to the shore. You can see the bloody meter just going off the charts.
Yeah. But then, even as he's doing it, and we're not quite there yet. It's very, very soon. But he's like humming something under his breath. He's not sane. He's snapped. He's lost it.
Oh yeah. He's losing control now. He's like he feels like an animal cornered, and he has no idea what to do next. Yeah, back home we got a taxidermy man. He's gonna have a heart attack once he sees what I brought him.
Not to mention, I mean, these barrels, they put this stuff to the shark's fin, so it ripped it out. Like, damn.
Yeah, that's gonna fuck up the shark as well because that kind of helps it stay afloat, doesn't it? Because this has happened as well with the Chinese trawlers. Just they're cutting off shark fins as well and
dorsal fin
in the water.
It keeps it stable in the water.
Cruel bastards.
Arseholes.
It's really, I know. It's really fucking disgusting.
They just flail and sink to the floor.
Yeah, no, they either drown or some other fish go and eat them.
I mean, they drown. Once a shark can't move forward anymore, it drowns. It's that simple. The only thing that keeps water going through, the only thing that keeps air going through the gills is the flow of water over the shark's body.
No.
And as I say, that's how the shark dies in the book. But it wouldn't have worked in this film.
Yeah, it can because
very anticlimactic.
Yeah, no, and plus I don't like animals suffering as well, even if it is trying to fucking kill me. I mean, if you're gonna kill an animal, kill it quick.
Yeah. I mean, shark's a fish, so that doesn't count. But the whole cinematography there, this is Spielberg underwater. Like they're dragging the barrel underwater. I guess on the track. Like it's so cool.
This is the great thing about the film is the amount of times that something substitutes for the shark. And I think we missed it, but earlier you had the scene with the 2 fishermen on the pier.
Yeah.
And the pier breaks away.
Yeah.
And you never see the shark, but you see the pier turn around. Yeah. And that starts coming after the dude, and you don't see a fin, you don't see anything, but you see the pier getting closer and closer to him. So it's the things that are used to substitute for the shark, like the barrel in this, and this is where he fucks up the boat.
Yeah,
no, he's not. He just doesn't fucking care anymore. He just wants to get this shark, and he's willing to do anything he can to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but now this is where Hooper comes up with the idea that maybe get in a cage and inject him with this lethal poison and kill it. Stickering nitrate, if I'm pronouncing that term right.
Yeah, I can see
strychnine. Yeah,
strychnine. Oh yeah, that's a very lethal poison. That fucking that'll fuck up any human as well. Never mind the shark.
Also, the problem is
through its skin.
I say it, Van Dit. It's like it's so friggin' its skin is so thick. Good luck with that.
Yeah, no, that's why they attach it to that poker, don't they? So I can just really jam it in there. So yeah, this movie caused a really big problem in Milan and sharks culturally. Kind of shame. Oh yeah. Really influenced a lot of shark bigotry there, didn't it?
Sharks are assholes.
A lot of
dead fucking sharks. Killers. They're killers, man.
Fuck those guys.
But Peter Benchley was absolutely devastated by the level of hatred towards sharks, and obviously afterwards, he set up his own foundation to protect sharks. To protect marine species.
I mean, I know these even animals that are trying to kill me. Yeah, I don't want animals suffering. I mean, like I said, eating meat's fine. Kill the animal humanely and quickly. It's that's fine. But yeah, now he's getting into the cage, and he does show that he's willing to put his life on the line here as well to stop this thing. And once again, it's the isolation as well, which makes this even more unnerving when you watch it. So long.
Fun fact: this footage was filmed with a small cage and a midget.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
They needed to make the shark look bigger because this is a real life shark that Ron and Val
Yeah, it is.
filmed in Australia.
That's right.
That's right. Little
Strangely
guy
enough,
called
that's quite a bit shorter than the one in the film. It's 17 foot. So they got a midget in a cage called
Big man. Carl Rizzo.
Carl Rizzo, that was it. Yeah.
My brother actually, when he was backpacking around Australia, when he was younger, he actually went to their facility, and they have that shark cage there. It's still there, the miniature cage.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I know the scene when the shark got caught up in the cage.
It goes mental,
was something that happened completely by
Yeah.
accident.
Yeah, it got stuck. Got its nose.
It was going mental.
Thankfully, the dude was already out of the cage by then. Otherwise, that could have ended really badly.
But it did slap him. He was on board the boat, and the fin came across and slapped him.
Yeah, I saw the footage. Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah, so obviously, because the shark's knocked out the fucking the stick out of his hand, he can't fucking get to him. And this is where it really gets more intense as well, because the shark.
We're getting up to the very end of the film now, so it's about to get very sort of climactic ending, kind of.
Yeah, and I don't know if the shark would leap over like that on the boat, can it?
Yeah.
I think actually, yeah. I think I've
Great
seen
white sharks do breach quite a lot.
I have seen sharks leap, yeah, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I need to watch more wildlife programs again.
Well, originally they wanted the shark to jump right over the boat, didn't they? That's what they built that rig for, but it just wasn't happening.
Yeah, but it seems to be more effective if it jumps on the boat and just takes the boat down as well, which leads to Quint about to finally get his turn after all these years. It's
What's the whole point? So these guys were limited by technology. Now it would just all be CGI.
God, it's brutal as well. The blood curdling screams.
Oh my God,
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the top of the way he's kicking, too. The way he's kicking and like this huffing and puffing the entire time. Like, oh my God, man.
And it's the air tank that causes to lose his grip because it rolls over his finger and he lets go. Poor lad.
Yeah, you can still see chunks of Quint in his teeth as well, though, can't you?
Yeah.
No, it's like
you got something in your teeth.
Nothing like a good thick toothpick will sort out.
It's okay. It's a quintessential part of a shark's diet.
Plus, it does make you feel fear more for Brody as well, because he's really out of his element, and now he's all that's left.
Last man standing or swimming.
Yeah, and once again goes back to Quint saying, I don't know what he's going to do with that tank. He can probably eat it, and it pays off. And it goes back to the one of the photographs he saw in the books as well, where it looks like there's a tank in the shark's mouth.
Yeah, it's on the back of the diver, and he's kind of trying it, basically.
Something else I didn't notice until today, he actually says, show me the tank.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed that before, so I don't know if I was just watching a better quality copy, and the audio's been cleaned up slightly, but I was the same.
Dolby Atmos that I had on today. And I was hearing things is that a Garand? Does anyone know?
Yeah, that's an M1 Garand, that.
Because that was Quint's, wasn't it? I wonder if he's kept it. I wonder if he's
it's probably his old World War One rifle then. World War II rifle, sorry. But it comes, and the tension really ranks up as well, because he's edging closer and he has to get that tank, otherwise
fucking
son of a bitch. Boom.
Fish sticks.
Great one-liner.
Yeah, and I love that scream as well. Ah!
Fish
Quite interesting that was that being the final shot of the movie. That was the final shot that was filmed. And Spielberg has this tradition since Jaws that he will not film the final shot. And when this shot was being, when this final scene was being shot, Richard Dreyfuss was on a plane, and all of a sudden Spielberg got on the plane, and he said, "What are you doing here? I thought you were shooting the final scene." He said, "No." He said, "I left that to them," and so he never films the final shot since Jaws. He never films the final shot of any of the movies that he's worked on.
Yeah.
Ooh.
True.
Yeah, so what does he do? Get like an assistant director? Like
Yeah, it'll be the first AD. The first AD is basically, if you have a good first AD, who I think is probably the most important person on the set, then you can shoot anything. You don't necessarily need a director there.
It's the same as doing second unit stuff, isn't it? Like
Mm.
stunt coordinator or somebody will chip in or whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Yeah.
And it's a good ending as well. I like how we do get a little bit of sadness from him for a couple of minutes. Like he's Quint, and he's like, nah.
Well, in the book, Hooper dies.
Yeah, and I think we already had
wanted a more uplifting ending. He wanted the crowd cheering.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, they've gone through all this fucking turmoil as well, haven't they? So yeah, end on a fucking high note. I mean, you lose a guy, yeah, but at the end of the day, the good guy wins. The hero's conquered his fear. You know, he's evolved, and you know, it's a character journey that's brilliantly fulfilled, and we don't need sequels.
No, this film never needed a sequel.
No, it didn't.
It made so much money that there was no way it wasn't going to get one.
I'm going to ask you all a really, really bizarre question, right?
Oh, God.
And it is connected with this, but have any of you ever felt shark's teeth? Have any of you felt actual shark's teeth?
Yep.
And
don't think so.
Right,
I mean, not on a real live shark, but yes, I had a shark's jaw like what Quint's got.
Yeah, I have one actually. Well, I'm quite ashamed to say that I have one.
Yeah, I bought it back from holiday. My parents went to the Mediterranean somewhere. It was a blue shark, I think.
Yeah, I got tiger shark jaws. And,
I do own a shark vacuum cleaner.
Oh right, there you go. But they are razor sharp, aren't they?
Yeah.
They genuinely are razor sharp.
It's the serration on them. They're all serrated.
Yeah.
They're not.
Oh my
they're not
goodness
smooth.
me.
They're designed for cutting. They are designed for cutting.
It's just I just can't. I mean, whenever I've touched these teeth on these jaws, I think to myself, what on earth must that be like to be bitten by something like that with the power of those jaws? You know, it just absolutely horrific.
Be more painful if they were blunt. So I would imagine it's just like a scalp,
like spoons.
Yeah, if you had.
But there was that guy, wasn't there, a few weeks ago? That fellow in Australia a few weeks ago who had his leg bitten off, was it, or his arm or something?
His leg, I think. It was
his leg, and he managed to. He was on a surfboard. He managed to swim to shore, and of course
he went
his
round
leg
in
washed
circles
up.
for 2 hours, though.
Well, his leg actually washed up, and they managed to reattach it.
Damn.
Oh Jesus. Well, yeah, I think. I mean, I know you can do that with fingers, but a full leg, though, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Imagine after like 12 hours of surgery, and the surgeon goes, "Oh, fucking hell, I've put it on the wrong way around. Sorry, my bad."
Sorry, mate. You're going to be walking around in circles for the next 40 years.
He had to do the waltz, wouldn't he?
Ah, crazy, man. But yeah, that was Jaws, and yeah, it's one of those films that just gets fucking better as the years have gone by. It's the characters are very fleshed out, and it's very intense, and the fact that it just shows how much creativity had to go into an older movie back in the days. You know, like when things didn't work, but thank God thank God the mechanical sharks weren't always functional, because it wouldn't have led to half the intense scenes that we see in this movie. It would just not have had that same power.
The thing about this movie is, right, and this is for any novice filmmaker or would-be wannabe filmmaker that's out there watching this at any point in time, this movie is your blueprint. That's the blueprint. If you want to make a good movie, watch this movie. And it's just a wonderful piece of work, and it will never date, regardless of when it was set, regardless of fashions and haircuts and hairstyles and what have you. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference whatsoever. What doesn't date is character, story,
Mhm.
tension, fear, terror. Those things don't date. So
And relatability, all the stuff that you relate to in this film, things
Yeah.
like fear, things like the value of fatherhood, things like greed, they're timeless. It won't matter. Nobody's talking about sort of I don't know, like the Vietnam War or anything like, or hippiness or anything like that. There's nothing that dates this apart from maybe the costumes and the technology and things like that. The themes in the film are enduring, and that's why the film's endured.
And this is why we seem to have at the moment. Look, put it this way. Put it this way, right? So, I mean, I actually think that the 2020s and maybe even the 2010s through the 2020s, that we will have nothing like this. We will not have a movie like this that we can look back on and say, "Wow, wasn't that a great movie in that decade?"
No chance.
There
I'm not
won't
even
be, there
sure
won't
we
be
have in
any
the last
movie.
20 years.
Everything just has become so disposable that okay, we can watch a movie and say at the time, yeah, man, I really enjoyed that movie. That was a really good movie, and that was I had a lot of fun watching it.
Cheers, man.
However, when you seriously look back and you really start to examine the different eras of movie making, the amount of movies that will endure from the 2010s and the 2020s will be negligible. They really will be negligible. But there's going to be virtually nothing that anyone is really going to be wanting to look back on and say, "Wow, that was just what an awesome film that was." That's going to live forever. That piece of movie history, that's there forever.
Yeah, because we barely have stars that have a presence the way Shaw and Schneider and Dreyfus did here.
There's nobody. I think there's a huge. I mean, it's happening already. There's a huge shift in the way entertainment's sort of consumed and made as well. And
it's massively content these days, and not actual value or art or creativity.
I think cinema is unfortunately going to be obsolete. I think it's going to die a death.
Certainly for new releases, give it another 10 years maybe. I still think there'll be some value to showing old films
100%.
in large screens, and people will still be up for that. But certainly for new releases, I
think they're doing that anyway. They're doing that as we speak. I think they're showing old films, and it's
man. I've just
bringing the crowd in
to go and see all not all the Star Wars films, obviously, but the good Star Wars films at the cinema. And
what was the
original theatrical versions or the special edition versions?
I don't know.
Never see the theatrical versions.
It didn't say, if I'm being honest. Hopefully, the theatricals.
But what
poster was for the theatricals? I can tell you that the poster wasn't for the special editions, but I hadn't actually thought about that. So that's a good point.
But what BlueCollarLoser is doing is he's actually introducing his son to an awful lot of these kinds of movies, these movies that he loves, and that's what I can see all of us doing, reintroducing these movies to a younger generation to get their appreciation and to give them a comparison to what it's like, the movie experience, what it's like watching something like this and watching something that's going to be released, next week. And there's going to be a
so disposable.
difference.
It's designed to live in the mind only for the time that you're watching it, and then almost immediately after that, you'll have forgotten it. There's no legacy behind it. So it's very important to teach this generation that are being effectively brought up on stuff like TikTok and crap like that. The value of perseverance, patience. Jaws is a patient movie. It's, as you say, Blue Collar, it's like an hour and 10 minutes before you see the bloody shark. And I don't think, I mean, obviously we're all of a certain age, but I don't know how youngsters would take it these days. I really don't.
Yeah, and that's what scares me. I mean, yes, I'm lucky enough because inside my nose, like I have watched all this stuff with my son as much as my dad watched films with me. But like a lot of kids, my son's the one rare exception because how many kids, their parents, we talk about all day, but like the phones are raising kids. Parents aren't. His parents are too busy,
No, it's kind of like they're messing with our brain waves and making us have this
Oh,
short
totally. I mean,
attention spans, isn't it?
the digital age and the reliance on screens and the amount that kids are brought up by screens now is absolutely, irreparably, undeniably changing the makeup of people's brains.
Yeah, no, I mean,
brain chemistry.
I've said on multiple streams, this one included on Luke's channel, where it's people say like, okay, Lord of the Rings, for example, like 2 towers, a 2.5 hour or 3 hour movie is too long. Okay, a 3 hour movie is too long, but you'll watch 3 hours of 50, 45-second TikTok videos.
Exactly.
It's the same exact thing, but like it's people how modern entertainment technology is going by. It's weird.
The way that people consume content, because the thing is, as time's gone on, and I sound old here, older than I actually am, we've got a very on-demand, immediate, disposable nature to society, that we take a very quick bit of content very quickly and we consume it and then we throw it away and we forget about it. Like TV shows these days, you don't get massive 26 episode season TV shows that unwind over a whole syndicated run. You get these little mini events almost that run, and it's all truncated, and that's what people generally consume these days. And as generations go forward, I mean, we're looking at Generation Z now, but what about the next generation? What about the next generation of kids? Are they even going to be able to concentrate on something long enough?
Well, I mean, this is why this is why I suppose that that Apple TV and Disney Plus are making shows with really long opening credit sequences, really long closing credit sequences, but with a minimal amount of content sandwiched in between. So we have the Acolyte or we have Masters of the Air, and the amount of content, actual visual content that's in there is truly minimal. But we are in this age at the moment that is very much akin to the video revolution, the video cassette revolution, where video shops were screaming out for content. They were screaming out for product. Streaming services are screaming out for content and product. It's exactly the same, but a different method of consumption. And what we have, and we certainly had that in the 80s, which is one of the reasons why I think that the 80s was one of the worst times for movie making, is this watered down content, this rushed content. That it doesn't mean to say that all of it was bad, and not all of the content that we have on streaming services is bad. But we have to go a long way to find those individual pieces that we really want to watch and that are going to endure. And unfortunately, most of the content that people talk about is the shit. It's the garbage. Isn't
like
this
the Acolyte
bad?
and shit
Isn't
like
that
that?
bad? And so it's the crap that's highlighted that's given the oxygen more than the good stuff.
This is why I've just done a video saying why I'm not watching and not covering Rings of Power.
The real shame of some of this, though, is the fact that I mean, the likes of us guys who want to just be entertained through like intelligent scripts, good acting, great costumes and lighting and all the rest of it, people don't really care about that. You hear a lot of people now saying, why didn't you like that? Why can't you just like enjoy it? But it was cool, though. People say, oh yeah, but it was cool. Like, say there was, I don't know, for argument's sake, a lightsaber fight in the Acolyte. It was shit.
It's fucking waving lights, isn't it? Just waving bright lights. Oh, bright lights make me feel happy. Shit.
But this is one of the things, and this is a video that I do want to do at some point, is why people like crap TV. How the fuck do people watch and enjoy Star Trek Discovery? How?
Because they've been trained.
Yes, there's different. No, one thing is that they've been trained.
That is the level that we're at, and that's what
another one is that it's espousing viewpoints and morals that they have and themes that they agree with. So it has a certain, let's say, political slant. It has representation, and they're like, oh, I like representation, so I must like this show. And then the other one is just they're die-hard fans and they don't want to let go. It took me a long time to let go of Star Trek, dude. Long time. Star Trek was so very, very important to me growing up. So important. And I went through the Abrams stuff and I was like, okay, yeah, kind of get it. I kind of get it. It's not great, but I kind of get it. And it took so long. It took right up until sort of 2 or 3 seasons of Discovery, and I was just like, Star Trek's dead. It's not there. It's gone. There is nothing of Gene Roddenberry's vision left, and it takes so long to let go.
You're absolutely right. I think in terms of franchises like that, like Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever franchise, I think we all have to make sure that we have our individual cut-off points where we decide this is my Star Wars, this is my Star Trek. I mean, my personal Star Wars is A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
It starts with A New Hope and it ends with Empire Strikes Back. But that's just me. That's my personal opinion. But
well, Jaws ends and starts and ends with Jaws. No, forget the bloody sequels. It's a standalone movie. That's
like
absolutely.
There's only one Matrix film. There only needs to be one Matrix film.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But you're right. Jaws starts with Jaws and it ends with Jaws. It doesn't go beyond that. I mean, yes, Jaws 2 is an okay kind of sequel, but I don't go back to it.
No,
it's okay because it's got Roy Scheider in it.
Yeah.
Jaws 2
he still sells
another
it.
film.
He does.
Jaws 2 is an okay film, but it is just another film. Whereas Jaws, the original, transcends that. It is a work of art. It is of cultural importance. And it will be a classic for decades to come.
Yeah.
Probably after we're gone.
The thing is, characters like Brody, he's kind of been done before, but you got a really good actor like Roy Schneider to play him. He's got that everyman look. He can pull it off, and that's what Spielberg did so well. He had the right actors for the roles. Robert Shaw.
Like some man said, this is just a film where, if you're going to make a movie, watch this film because this is everything done right. There is nothing done wrong in this film.
But you're right. I mean, this is something that does transcend. It transcends film. This is a movie, and there's the difference between a film and a movie is a film is is more kind of maybe slightly more artistic. A movie is something there that is there purely to entertain you, right? And this on every single watch, and I've seen this many times. Like all of us, we've seen this multiple times.
Oh yeah.
I've probably seen this hundreds of times, and I get the same thrill. Maybe not the same thrill that I had when I first watched it.
Of course.
But I get the same thrill that I had certainly from my second viewing. I still get thrilled by this movie, and that's why I revisit it. And every film that you've chosen for this for these, Luke, I think have been absolutely amazing choices. And and that recommendation from Fandad is just an outstanding recommendation. I don't think you could have picked a better film to have gone with. It's just a remarkable piece of work.
Can I ask a question for all of you? Was there any point during this film that any of you were bored at all?
Nope.
Never.
No. I mean, even as a kid, when I was a really small kid, I was never bored, but I just didn't understand it as much as I do now as an adult. But no, I mean, if I was bored, I probably would have watched it ever again.
I do think this is as close to a perfect film as you can get.
Oh yeah,
Really,
I
really
would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Oh
yeah, I would say it's pretty much perfect. It really is. It's just it's a weird one because it's kind of a popcorn movie, but it's also incredibly artistic in its execution.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
very nearly didn't happen.
Yeah.
Multiple reasons and multiple times.
Could you imagine life without Jaws?
No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot more sharks alive, but nonetheless, a very, very important film.
Yeah.
But we're coming up to the end of the show, and I don't know if we can discuss any more on Jaws. So maybe final thoughts. Blue Collar.
I would assume just with the panel, I mean, God, guys, it's hard for any of us to say a perfect film, a 10 out of 10. But this is a staple for, I know all you guys, that when people say, what is your top 10 films of all time, that list could change based on decade. But like, I cannot, as a grown man, as a person on YouTube, as a father, not put Jaws in my top 10 of all time. I mean, I can never, it's hard to rank that list 1 through 10. But if you are a true film cinephile, you can't tell me that you're not a fan of movies without putting Jaws. It's yeah. I mean, what else is there to say? It is the summer blockbuster film and the ultimate, vibe of, talk, don't tell, whatever. Show once I'm drunk, but like it's like I said, not seeing the bad guy, the villain, the shark until an hour into the movie. It's I mean, every piece of dialogue, every scene, like Inside Man said, talk about the pacing, showing my son. I still have this to this day, guys, have yet to see this film in theaters because of my area. But if the day comes where I can see this film in theaters, I'm taking my kid in a fucking heartbeat. And we discussed before. I mean, Alien. I grew up watching Alien, Jaws. I took my son, for me, as 43 years old, taking my kid to see Alien for the first time ever. And it still holds up. And me and my kids turn 18 soon. We're watching this fucking film from like the late 70s. And yes, quality film transcends time. And this film, it's a fucking masterpiece. Come on.
Critical, final thoughts?
Shit. No, it's not just an amazing film, it's an important film. It is genuinely important in the scheme of cinema. Would we maybe even have cinema in the same kind of way if we hadn't had
this is a film that should be for novice filmmakers to study.
Everybody who goes to film school should watch this film. Absolutely. There's other films that they should watch as well, other very important films that are even older than this, but this is an absolutely essential film. The themes in the film, it's not just about, in fact, it's not, as I said, Smile said earlier, it's not about the shark. It is a film about a shark, but it's not about the shark.
Sure.
It's about other people. It's about their dynamics. It's got themes of fathership. It's got themes of greed. It's got themes of fear. It's so much more than the sum of its parts. And it's a load of happy accidents that has just resulted in this amazing film happening. And, we just need to be grateful we've got it and enjoy it.
Yeah. So, and Inside Man, final thoughts on Jaws?
I wish I could add a little more to what BlueCollarLoser and Critical have said, but it will be very, very difficult for me to add any more. I think it's as perfect a film as I think I've ever seen and will ever see. I think it's beautiful. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. It's faultless. There's nothing that I could fault this movie on. Not one single thing.
It's 10 out of 10 all day long, isn't
it? Truly perfect.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. I mean, I can't even speak highly enough of this movie. I'd go on all night if I were to keep on talking about this film. It's just a wonderful, wonderful piece of work.
So, Luke, you're all right for another 5 hours, aren't you?
So I probably guess already what you're going to say, Fandad Menace, but final thoughts, come on.
I don't know where to begin. I mean, you guys have already said pretty much what I was thinking. It's like it's a flawless movie. Al, you said, what was it? If you're at film school, you should watch this movie. I think if you've watched this movie, it should make you want to go to film school.
Yeah.
But it just it represents so much for me as well, like parts of my childhood. The fact that I got to see Jaws in the theater, and like I said, my dad didn't give me much, but he gave me Jaws, and I carried that for the past 49, nearly 50 years.
Been amazing in the cinema,
mate.
Absolutely amazing.
Actually, it's going to be at a real cinema in Hull in October, so I might try and see if I can see it at the cinema.
Dude, save me your seat.
Yeah.
In Hull, did you say?
Yeah, in Hull. I don't know if it's still in the same in where you're from anyway. So
I'll come down and hold your hand, mate.
I'll have to keep an eye out because I'd love to catch this in the cinema.
We'll gather semen together. Blue Collar, you can come across and watch it as well with us if you like. We'll send you a little yellow raft.
I'll be drunk. Don't worry.
That's
Just say you're Muslim and they'll let you in.
Just keep swimming.
Yeah.
Real quick,
but you're right.
I'll say real quick trivia for you guys. So right now, the official release date for Jaws was June 20th, 1975. So that means upcoming this June for 2025 is the official 50-year anniversary.
Jesus Christ!
I'm hoping it happens in Hull as well. I hope we get a good schedule. I might even book it for that time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness me! Yeah,
And
they have to do something for this movie.
Got to,
It's a movie that deserves to be celebrated. And as a footnote, as a kind of delayed footnote to what I said, and kind of echoing what Fandad was saying, this was one of the movies. In fact, I think it probably was the movie that made me want to work in film and television, particularly film. It was, because I had Carl Gottlieb's book. I didn't understand much of the kind of technical stuff that was in it, and I believe I've still got that book actually. But this was kind of one of the movies, and so I've actually got quite a lot to thank it for. Jesus Christ, what a film!
As I say, work of cultural significance.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
I'll give my final thoughts. It's a great example of how to make a movie when things are not always going well. I mean, it goes to show that no matter how many things fuck up, you must never lose faith and just keep doing it and find a way around it. And that's what Steven Spielberg did, and that's how it led to the shark being this big threat. And it's got the characters do feel like genuine characters. You get their struggles. You get Quint through his trauma that has haunted him since for 20, 30 years. You got the college student who's more than just his college degrees, and you got the plucky, unlikely hero who has to face his fear and stare down the lion's jaw in order to prevail. And
also, I mean,
yeah.
Sorry, Luke. Now, Pulp Factory guys. So, can you guys imagine? Okay, 1975. What do you think? As I got up here, what would the budget be for a film in 1975?
About $5 million.
Around about a decent one, around about sort of 6 million maybe at tops.
I know what this one cost, and I know it doubled its budget, but it made a lot of money.
I think it was what was it? 4.5, wasn't it?
9.
It ran at 7 in the end, and I think it was budgeted 3.5 to 4 million.
Yeah, and according to what's scary, dude, is so remember this is 1975. That this film globally did $470 million.
Yep.
And that's almost $500 million in 1975. So this says this film, and Gary would know this with the industry. This film made back 40 times its fucking production budget.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I can't. And nowadays we can't. That's like, imagine a film nowadays, a Marvel film costing $200 million and doing 40 times the budget. It would never happen.
But that's one of the great things about this film. And Luke was talking about adversity and a film being made through adversity, because they had to come up with ideas. The guy had to invent the rig to make the camera work at that water level. Because they did these things and they were economic and they improvised, it kept the budget low. These days, it would be like, we'll just do it all in post, we'll just do it all in CGI, and it would run to $300 million.
What?
It would not have any of the creativity that a filmmaker should have.
But distinct though. Okay, so the initial budget, right? Because the production guys with Bruce's Shark, they actually made different versions of Bruce. So the initial budget was $4 million. It ballooned up to $9 million. So they actually doubled their fucking budget because all the production.
I know there was 3 sharks, and on top of that, they also ended up shooting for like 3 months over schedule.
100
days.
And about 100 days over.
That's a scary.
But imagine this though: we're going to sign on a different director, Dick Richards, but he kept saying that he'd always wanted to make a movie about a whale. So that's
right.
Yes. He kept getting confused with a fucking orca in this, and I think Spielberg was like, Listen, I'm not going to have a guy who can't tell the difference between a shark and a whale.
Yeah, but it's also different in Hollywood. You figure, okay, so Jaws went over production budget because mechanical errors with technology. Versus nowadays, it's okay. Why did Indiana Jones 4? Why did like Captain America 4 go 2 or 3 times its budget because of shitty writing? Because
now shitty writing and shitty production. Well, they don't know how to make films these days.
Yeah,
they just literally like, oh right, we make this film, we fucked it up, right? Reshoots. Yeah. Okay, so reshoots means that we're gonna have to change all the CGI now. So now we go back and the CGI budget's doubled. You need to make films efficiently. You need to have people who can make films efficiently. People like Roger Corman. Who could make a film efficiently, and that's why he got so much work. And his films weren't amazing masterpieces or anything, but they made money.
Yeah. So the difference between Jaws, the massive difference between Jaws and any of those kind of movies that you're talking about is the lack of studio interference. They allowed Spielberg to continue with what he was doing, because they had confidence in him.
Which is quite amazing in a filmmaker only on his second film, at 26 years of age.
It's, I mean, consider that. Just consider that, what you've just said. A guy that's 26, 27 years old, right? And he has made this movie. I mean, it baffles me to this day. I mean, I got 30 years on the guy in terms of the age that he made this movie at. And I wouldn't be able to figure out what he went through and fathom out how he would have had to put this production together.
And the changes that he made, he knew what the audience wanted. He knew that ending in the book would not work.
And this is why
he needed to go back and put another jump scare in there with Ben Gardner in the boat.
Yeah. And this is why when you watch a Spielberg film, right, it looks effortless. It looks like an effortless piece of work that this has been put together. It doesn't matter whether you like the movie, whether you like a movie that Spielberg has done, right? It doesn't matter which movie you look at from Spielberg, but it looks like it had no effort. Obviously, there is effort involved in making it, but it looks completely effortless. And why does it look effortless? Because the man is an artist. And this film is one of the greatest works of art that's ever been committed to film. And he personally said that, and I think this is a great a great way of describing it. He said that this, in essence, was guerrilla filmmaking. This was an independent movie that he made for a studio. So because he had that freedom.
As I say, I don't think Hollywood can make anything like this these days. There's too much studio blow. There's too much studio interference. There's too many people saying you need this and you need this and you need this.
It's all money men with fucking nuts and no passion or creativity whatsoever. It's
well, also you guys breaking down, let's say, okay, audiences versus people going to the movies versus back then. Okay, so nowadays, a film does like 150 million. But average ticket price now is $15 a ticket. So it's like a million people. I'm looking at right now, the average ticket price in 1975 for a movie was $2. So $2 per ticket. When a film does $450 million at $2 a ticket, that's people. That's a lot of fucking people seeing this movie.
Versus for sure. And this is one of the things when they turn around these days and like, oh, this film made this much money. It's like, but tickets are twice the price that they used to be.
What it said right now. I mean, I'm in New York. I took my kid to go see Beetlejuice. My ticket was free from my Regal app. My kid, it was $16 for a ticket to see Beetlejuice. $16 right now versus. This was 1975. It was $2. So it's right now, it's 8 times the price to see a fucking movie. So when a film does $1 billion, but comparatively, when ticket prices are $20 for IMAX ticket, you're paying 10 times the amount versus days long past. So
and one thing real quickly, I know Luke wants to go, but I just want to ask this question really quickly. When it comes to like your Regal Cinema Pass, my Cineworld Unlimited card, how does that work to the box office gross of a movie?
I don't know,
because I'm paying £15 a month. I'm not paying £15 a ticket.
They probably aren't getting a lot. You watch. They're probably getting more money off you buying the popcorn.
They make a lot more on concessions. Yeah,
well, I'm not talking about the cinemas themselves. I'm saying when you report the box office gross of a film and you say this film has made 2 million or so 200 million, how do you break that up? When I've seen
Yeah.
4 films for $15.
Well, I'm assuming Al with the cinema that they're taking the hit because, like I said, I have Regal, right? Mine's $24 a month, so it's like even though I'm paying $6 a week, when I go into the app and scan my barcode, they're taking the cost of the pure $15 for the ticket, even though I'm not paying that.
Right.
But,
So the cinema is still reporting to the studios full price tickets. Because I was wondering about things like concessions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not all tickets are equally priced.
No.
So
there is
a work on the base value then.
Yeah.
There is a distribution method that's used. It's kind of tried and tested and kind of works, and that is that the first week of the opening, the cinema will get 25% of the ticket sales. Right, so they earn 25% of all ticket sales. So anything that's any ticket sales, and obviously 100% of concessions. If it goes to 2 weeks, they, depending on the movie and depending on the distributor, and depending on the chain, they will make a deal with that chain from the distributor and say, when we hit the second week, you can have 35%. You can have 70% or 80% of the ticket sales, and we'll only take 20%. And it goes down, and they do these deals, and they go up and they go down. So the further you go into a run, the less money. The further you go into a run, the more money the movie will actually make, or the less money a movie will make, depending on the deal that they've actually done with cinema chains.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Because it's always been quite sort of quite sort of murky as to how these things are reported, and obviously you do have things like creative Hollywood accounting that probably influence these box office quite a lot. We already know that Disney sometimes buy out cinemas and stuff like that, to make their films look better than they actually are. Or they do deals and stuff like that. So it's something I'm quite interested in finding out more about. But it's quite hard to find out the actual truth about these things.
You're right. It is murky. It is very, very murky.
It's weird because it's not like you're buying an individual ticket and they're getting a more accurate readout, Ali, of the box office.
This is it. Yeah, exactly.
What's like Mr. E is talking about inflation, $2 to $12. Like I said, $2 a ticket. When you do 400 million, that means you've sold over 200 million tickets to see a single movie. Like this, that math is like.
This was a phenomenon. It was an absolute, an absolute phenomenon. It made so much money, and that's without home retail and rental sales.
VHS, yes, exactly.
And if you multiply those, those ticket prices by 8, if you say that they're 8 times more expensive today than they were then, and then multiply the gross, the box office takings of Jaws back then by 8, then you've got a shit ton of money.
Like a $2 billion movie.
And again, like I said, the production value, approximately $9 million production value versus a budget or a box of 400 million. Versus nowadays, they spend 200 million on a movie. I mean, these guys have to make $1 billion just to fucking break even.
Jaws was the first movie to do over 100 million.
There's two, because the thing is, what happened was you had Avengers, obviously the Avatar film and the Avengers, and they were like, okay, it's fine. We can spend 200 million on a film and we know that we're going to be okay because we'll make $1 billion. And the problem is what happened is they lost track of how to make films, and these budgets ballooned even more. Like Captain Marvel the Marvels somehow cost 320 million. How did you spend 320 million on that piece of shit? Exactly.
And plus another 150 billion for worldwide publicity. But this is one thing that I do. This is one thing.
It's more on the publicity shit now, isn't it? Instead of
this is one of the things that I just don't get. Right. So now what we have is we have a facility at all of our fingertips, which is the cheapest way of advertising that you could ever possibly get. Social media,
fucking millions when they could be saving money.
Yeah, it's absolute horseshit that they spend this kind of money on advertising, because it goes on social media, it goes on YouTube adverts, it goes on TikTok adverts. This is free. It's free. It doesn't cost them anything. Word of mouth
is free. Yeah.
And especially when you consider things like product placement and everything like that, films just should not be this expensive to make now.
No, and not just that. It's not just that. Now we're in the digital age, right? So if you're making this movie in 35 mil or 70 mil, right, It's expensive because you have production costs for processing, and you have to do color correction and color timing. This kind of chemical processes, photochemical processes, are really, really expensive.
Mhm.
So we have digital filmmaking, which is designed to make movie making cheaper, but
Yep.
it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't is because of creative Hollywood accounting. But it's
You're right.
not just Hollywood, it's worldwide, right?
Yep.
They pay themselves. They pay
Yeah.
themselves
Yep.
inordinate amounts of money to do
Well, it happened with
things that
For
cost
Love and
nothing.
Thunder, didn't it? Disney paid themselves to host it on their own streaming platform.
Yep.
Yeah, that went
Absolutely
well, didn't it?
outrageous.
You know, and like, the thing is quite profitable now for companies to turn around and say that films didn't make money through creative accounting, because then that way they don't have to pay extra residuals and stuff like that. You know, and that's one of the reasons why sort of stuff goes to streaming now, because you can hide how much money things make, and you can just turn around and go, oh, it's not made that much money. Sorry, we can't. You know,
but they seem to be shouting these inordinate sums from the rooftops and saying, "We made this movie for $400 million. We made this movie for $300 million. We spent another 150 million in advertising and publicity." They're shouting those kind of. They should be fucking ashamed of themselves that they're spending this kind of money.
absolutely.
Now, if they turn around and said, "Look, we spent $40 million on this movie and a couple of million on advertising," I'd be much more likely to see a movie that actually says that. But as soon as they start shouting about their budgets and how wonderful this movie is going to be because we put all this money into it, so because we put all this money into it, therefore it's going to be great. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
No,
Look
you're
at
not.
Godzilla
We
minus
don't
one,
love
man. It embarrassed Hollywood.
15
Godzilla minus one
$15
embarrassed
million
Hollywood.
for Godzilla minus one. 15 million.
Amazing.
Everything, everywhere at once. Fucking hired people
Yeah.
on the cheap to do this CGI, and it looks 10 times fucking better than.
Fucking does. Great film that is, actually. Great. I need to watch that again. I love that film.
A lot of the crew that were on that were YouTubers.
Yeah, exactly. Look at all the deep fakes. Look at the Henry Cavill mustache removal in Justice League.
my
Hollywood
God.
was shit. Someone on the internet did it for less.
Well, you guys know this, not to go on
and
tangent, but like, remember when they did Mark Hamill, DH, and Luke and Mandalorian?
The day after.
Disney did such a shitty job. This guy on YouTube did a better deep fake than Disney Studios. They wound up hiring this guy. How the fuck's a guy on YouTube do a better job de-aging Mark Hamill than official Disney fucking employees?
The day after.
What is
day after.
What is going on,
screamed. And they would have been working on that for months. Absolutely mental.
Christ.
Yeah.
We're getting off a little bit topic now, and the show is always.
So you said you'd be good for another 5 hours.
All right, buddy. Yeah. Great.
Strap yourself in, boys.
Great stream, great film. Come on.
But yeah.
What time is it over there for you, Blue?
It is 5:45 p.m. And like I said, Luke, you guys know this, that I have to go back to a real job soon. But before I head back to my real job, when Luke mentioned Jaws, my dude, I got one more fucking Bastards breakdowns. If I'm gonna go out for a while, it's gonna be for Jaws. So
good lad.
I won't be doing anything next week. So I got my sister's birthday coming up. But if she cancels, I'll go ahead with it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still gonna keep it on the schedule just in case. But so yeah, this is the part of the show where everyone gets to promote their next bit of content. BlueCollarLoser, anything upcoming?
Yeah, I mean, I brought my son to see Beetlejuice. I've been kind of slow to edit the video because I've been drunk, but yeah, exactly. And but for Inside Man knows that I told Lance I will get one. He's doing the Shield next Sunday, so I'm trying to get the Shield done. But like, yeah, I'm just next week is my last week off because I start work officially not this Monday, next Monday. So I'm just hanging out while I can. But once real life kicks in, I'm gonna be working 65, 70 hours a week again. So I'll be around, but you know.
Yeah, I think Lance invited me on it as well. I'm going to have to watch the show because I've not watched it yet properly.
Fantastic.
So I'll try to.
I'll keep mentioning Luke to you, Lance. Everybody stream. Today I played 2 hours of Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong just hit $850 million in 2 weeks. The film that Western audiences hate because it lacks diversity.
It's a Chinese one as well. They're having to go Chinese overlords. It's fucking hilarious.
I love the fact that a game that's not woke is doing it's the biggest game of 2024 about a monkey.
Meanwhile, Concord had a lifespan of less
Thank
lemon
you.
lettuce.
Yeah.
Remember, Critic Al, the Concord, the game with diversity and trans people, and that game just fucking shut down. Versus a game
12
about,
days.
a game in 2 weeks did almost $1 billion about a fucking Chinese monkey, and the whole
Just goes to
internet.
show if you give the audience what they want.
Yeah, so maybe
Yeah.
maybe America, because you guys don't do this shit. Maybe sometimes BBC people don't give a fuck about diversity. They want quality. Look at Jaws. Jaws. Do you see any black people in this movie? Sorry, any main actors? Any women? Any trans non-binary people? No, but it did $500 million.
Yeah, because we care about what's happening in the film.
Yes.
And,
Maybe.
so yeah, thank you, BlueCollarLoser. Critical. Anything upcoming?
Yes, I've just done a video saying why I'm not watching or covering Rings of Power, and that's basically because it's not Tolkien. I am seeing Beetlejuice tomorrow, and I will be reviewing it.
Cool.
And other than that, because of what's happened recently to YouTubers like Nerdrotic and that lot,
Yeah, I heard about that.
I have been working on a script for a video about the importance of the freedom of speech.
Yeah, I know, because that's really fucking shit. Someone tried to cancel them because they didn't like their fucking opinion on a movie.
The idea of Ron Fink is fundamentally offensive to me. The idea that you can only
they
have
call us Nazis.
one...
They call us fucking Nazis, and they're the ones acting like Nazis. Actual Nazis.
Look up the definition of fascist sometime. You'll
Yeah.
be quite surprised by who's being the fascist. But no, I abhor censorship. I abhor the idea that you cannot have free speech. And while there should be some limits, such as actively threatening people and proper inciting of violence and saying blow up these people and stuff like that, that aside, freedom of speech should be absolutely sacrosanct. And that's what my next video will be about.
Good.
Fundamental right, and these woke tards need to fucking realise that. So yeah, Inside Man, anything upcoming? You've already mentioned, but for the sake of the show, let's hear it again.
Yeah, well, on Sunday, Lance and I are going to be doing the Warriors of the Wasteland on the Outcast Creatives channel, which is a kind of a breakdown of and review of an awful lot of these Mad Max clone movies. So that should be quite interesting. Most of them come from Italy, which pleases me. And of course, on Tuesday, we have our usual Nielsen ratings. And I think I might have a little bit of a crazy salad to talk about this time. But just quickly following up on something that that we were just talking about, and that is the freedoms of speech. And it's something that Terry Gilliam said. And I think I might be paraphrasing slightly, but he said something to the effect of, when we start mistaking humor and entertainment for hate, then we're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is it's
all
a big
it does
problem.
is diminish real hate. That's the problem.
Yeah.
By saying everything is hateful,
precisely that.
you diminish the real.
You're absolutely right. You're diluting what hate is. Yeah, you're diluting hate, and I just I'm a big proponent of freedom of speech, and it
The script's nearly done, so I am going to Essex. I'm going back down south next week, so I doubt that you'll see it till next weekend, unfortunately.
Right.
But yeah, that video is coming.
Yeah, interesting. I'll be interested to see that. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, Fandad Menace, anything upcoming?
Absolutely fucking nothing, mate. My life is pointless at this point in time.
Yeah,
you'll do something that, listen.
No, listen.
Life happens, all right? Life happens. Don't sweat it. You will end up doing something again. You will.
I'm very tempted to do something next week. There's a couple of little things that's popped up on my radar. One of them's the Wolfman remake.
Oh my god!
I saw that fucking photo. Jesus Christ!
Kind of, is that genuinely real? That's not
like on set without any CGI or what, but it looked fucking horrible. So it's changed my perception of that movie completely. There was another couple of films. I think Jason Bourne 6 or whatever is coming close to fruition. So I don't know if I'm looking forward to that either. There's a couple of other things on the horizon I might cover them next week. See how that goes. The 27th, Luke, of this month, I can't make because it's my daughter's birthday party.
Yeah,
So,
I'll be off on the 27th as well because I got I'm catching up with some friends as well, and it's been organised for quite a while. So yeah, that's going to be another week off though. So
yeah. Nice one. But yeah, all good.
Here's that photo. Here it is. So we can get close. Fucking, what is that? That is not the Wolfman. Come on.
Please make it stop.
How drunk am I?
It's fucking low pan from Little Johnny.
Is he going to wear that?
It is. Yeah, it is. It looks like sort of a kung fu master from an old 70s.
This thing really pisses me off right here.
If I drink some more of this, I'll still sleep with her.
Yeah, it was a challenging wank, but I got through it.
On that note, that's a perfect note to end it on. Yes, yours and challenging wank. Yeah, that's how we should end the show on. So yeah, thank you for joining me, BlueCollarLoser, Critical, and Menace, Inside Man, World War Joe as well. Thanks for stopping by. Atom Gray, Mr. E.
Check out B-roll tonight. I love B-roll.
Yeah,
Mr.
Just scrolling up now. Barbara Lawrence, thank you, lovely Barbara. Come on, where are it's the same people, Mr. E again.
We'll shout out to Words and Pictures. I'm sorry.
Words and Pictures,
Sorry,
we normally hit the comments a little bit later.
Yeah,
glad you could join us. Thank you, common people. Forgetting my fucking words here.
Ray Terry, Davey Wilson.
Yeah, Ray Terry, David Wilson, Tony K, Toxic as well, and
Jamalama Ding Dong.
Yeah, Jamalama. Come on,
that was awesome.
People I have never met personally, but always welcome. Smilex as well, always welcome. Yeah. I need to get you on here again one day.
You better hit 1K before Christmas, douchebag.
Oh yeah,
I'm rooting for you. Man.
That'd be a miracle. Lobo Grish, sorry.
Just chuck Drinker another 10, you'll be fine.
Sammy Pete.
I may have to resort to other methods. Ones I won't be too proud of to get those ones.
You're going to dress up like Tatiana.
Yeah.
I won't judge you.
Oh, God, yeah. I will never get invited in an open bar if I don't. Worth it.
He lives in Scotland. He's had worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so probably the same in Hull then. Yeah, so that's all I mentioned anyway. So, yeah, thanks to you for joining me, you beautiful bastards. And whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not, thanks for watching. And do remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, and ring that bell to be further notified. And please do the same for my lovely guest. And right now, that's me done. And I am off to the pub before it closes.
Bye.
Ta-ta.